Okay. Hello.
Yes.
All right. Is the Attorney General on? Someone from the Attorney General's?
Yes, ma'am. Let me get my camera on. Sorry about that. Let me figure out.
Yeah.
There we go.
Hello.
Morning, Judge.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. I mean, it's a Monday. It's raining in San Antonio. Fiesta has ended. I don't know if people are happy or not happy about that. But sometimes when you give people Friday is a holiday, that means that your Monday is a Friday and a Monday. So we shall see. So on this case, Norma, can you call Luis?
Yes, I think he's coming.
All right. So on this case, we're bringing out Mr. Howie. He's an inmate.
Okay.
And so I was trying to get the time frame from you all of
Mhm.
what needed.
Judge, we are actually working with Mr. Martinez, I believe, on trying to come to a resolution on the case. Or the case is, and so I don't know that Mr. Martinez, if he has what's going on with that yet.
All right. They say he's on his way over.
Okay.
But
Great.
then are you all agreeing to act as pro tem?
Yes, Judge, we've already signed all the motions, and then Mr. Kotler, Dorian Kotler will be the first chair. He's gotten his oath and statement in, and then he deputized me so that I could help. He's in trial today in another county.
Okay, awesome. Well, Howie, here, Judge. All right. Hello, Mr. Howie.
Hello, man. How you doing?
Hi, all right. So we're waiting for your attorney to come down, but
ma'am.
on Zoom, we have a representative from the Attorney General's office.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's going to be the attorney that's standing in for the district attorney's office.
Yes, ma'am.
And so we're just waiting for your attorney to come down to see what can be worked out.
Yeah, about the signature bond. I respect.
No, here's the thing. That's between the attorney and your attorney and the Attorney General, whatever agreement they perhaps can reach. And all I do is review the agreement and make a decision on whether or not I'll follow whatever agreement that's been reached. So we're just waiting for your attorney to come in, but the Attorney General, I saw her in the waiting room this morning. So they tell me your attorney is walking over now. So we'll take that up first, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, they're telling me he's walking over and I'll take you up as soon as he pops in. Who is here on Eddie Outlaw? Eddie Outlaw, if you come up. All right, we're set today for discovery. I don't know if this is criminal trial division or family violence.
CTD.
All right. So where are we on discovery?
We have our discovery. I conferred with the state. We have an offer. We'd like some time to go over a few things before he makes his final decision.
Okay. All right, Ms. Ferguson, and I know that these are first-degree felonies. Ms. Ferguson, if you set this in 30 days for a plea deadline date, please.
I can do June 3rd.
All right, so we're going to come back on June 3rd. At that time, you need to let the court know whether or not you're accepting the state's offer if you come to an agreement. If you have not come to an agreement, the court will not accept any plea bargain agreements without good cause. Otherwise, you have to plead open to the court. Do you understand? All right, and thank you so much for dressing appropriately for court. Once you sign the reset form, you'll be excused, okay? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
And Norma, can you make sure a judge has signed off on the Attorney General's documents for them being appointed as pro tem? Because I don't see it in the file.
It should be.
It should be done, Judge, because we got him. We can't file our paperwork without it.
All right, I'm hoping so. Sometimes, you know, with Odyssey, sometimes paperwork gets lost somewhere in the cloud or in the system.
Yes, yep. No, we have very strict, like my boss would not be happy if I had not checked.
Judge, did you want me to forward it to you or print it out?
If you can forward it to me, please. All right, who is here on Renee Gomez? Court is calling 2025 CR 00275 State versus Renee Gomez. Could I have parties announced?
Attorney Bill Simmons for defense.
And are you Mr. Gomez?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, counsel, have you received all discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Gomez, did you review the document entitled Application for Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it? Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes.
Mr. Gomez, did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with driving while intoxicated third or more? That's a third-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? You
Yes,
have a, you're gonna have to make sure you speak up. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent. Did you understand by entering into this agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to enter into agreement in this case? I'm sorry?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
In my opinion, he does, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Gomez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, no, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain agreement with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 10 years in the prison. The state recommends community supervision. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
Yes.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your community supervision be for a term of 10 years, that there be a TAP evaluation, DWI intervention, VIP live, ignition interlock for half the term, and 2-year Texas driver's license suspension. And did you also understand that the court can order 10 days in the Bexar County Jail as a condition of your probation?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Contest.
State, any evidence?
No objection.
All right, state, do you have any objection to the defendant serving the 10 days on GPS?
No,
All right, thank you. You may be excused. Did you review the waiver and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
We would just pray that the court follow the plea agreement. We would also ask the court to give consideration to his indigent status and needing to work. He knows that he'll need to obtain an occupational license and would need permission from the court to move around from that perspective. His driver's license has been suspended for 80 days. It's caused him some issues, but he has not been driving at all. So we would ask the court to give some consideration on the driver's license suspension length.
All right. What do you do for work?
Construction, concrete.
And how old are you, sir?
Ma'am,
How old are you?
59, gonna be 59 June.
Oh, okay. Well, happy birthday upcoming.
Thank you.
All right. This is what the court is going to do. The court is going to sentence you to 10 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 10 years. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs, proof of employment within 30 days, no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. I'm going to want a referral to felony drug court. And also a TAP evaluation out of custody. Follow recommendations. 120 sober meetings in 120 days. The DWI intervention course. DWI education. Victim impact live. Ignition interlock for half the term. 2-year license suspension. Does he want to do 10 days at the Bexar County Jail or 10 days on GPS?
GPS run.
All right, there should be, I'm sorry, not 10 days on GPS. It would be 20 because if he wants it partial. If he doesn't want a partial, then he have to do 10 days full house arrest.
Can I have 10 seconds?
Sure. $10 years.
Your Honor, if I can, just to verify for the record. So you understand the 10 days, if the court would allow you to do 10 days of GPS at home, you would not be able to work as full house arrest. That's what she meant by partial. So the 20 days, you would be able to get permission from probation officers approved by the court for work purposes. And it will be for the GPS, for you to have the GPS, and that will be in lieu of you being taken into custody for additional 10 days. So those are the options. So I believe, Judge, we'd like to do the 20.
20.
Okay. All right, there's to be 20 days of GPS. Partial for employment.
And if to bring to the court's attention, he's already on GPS, so just so the court knows. I don't know if the court can or would give him credit for the time he's been on
Yeah.
GPS already anyway.
There's going to be field visits 1 time per month for 6 months. 200 hours of community service restitution. What do you do in your free time?
Well, I guess I'm gonna be doing that.
No. What do you do on your free time? What do you normally do?
Relax. After
No.
work, you mean? That's what I do after work.
Relax and drink.
No.
That's why we're here for DWIs.
It's on a special occasion, that's it, you know. It's
What was
not
your-
it's not an everyday thing.
What was your special occasion on this day?
Party? Like
Huh?
Halloween party.
All right, and what was your special occasion for the other 2 DWIs?
Oh, just festivals.
Mhm.
That's all we want.
Yeah, so here's
I'm
the
not a
bit-
drinker every day. I'm sorry, I'm not. I'm serious, I'm not. What you call a social drinker on special.
So you
occasions.
just drink to intoxication?
You don't say that, that's fine. That's
Well, I mean, no,
No,
this is,
I'm just telling you, I go to family functions and we drink and.
And then you
I
drive.
just take out, yes.
all
That's
right.
very simple.
So you drink and you drive and you drink to intoxication. Yeah, I mean, and you've done this before. All right, so there's going to be 200 hours community service restitution. Probation, is there anything else? Yes.
Nothing else, Judge.
Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful? All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have questions over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. It appears to the court you have a problem. And you are minimizing your problem. I know a lot of people who celebrate on the holidays and they say, oh, you know, it's a family barbecue or it's 4th of July, we drink, but they don't drink to intoxication and drive. And that's what you continue to do. And you're blaming it on holidays.
I'm not blaming it on no holiday. I'm just saying, ma'am, that that's.
And if you drug tested today, what are the results gonna be? When's the last time you drank?
All that. I'll come out late.
You come out, no, when's the last time you drank alcohol?
3 weeks ago.
All right, so see, he still has an alcohol problem.
Ma'am, I'm not been driving, ma'am.
That's good.
No.
Mr.
While you're on probation. Here's the
Well,
thing.
on probation is a different story.
Here's the thing, while you're on probation, you're not allowed to drink. And anybody, and normally, whether people are telling the truth or not, normally when they pick up a DWI third, you know what their attorney is able to come in and say? My client hasn't had a drink since that night because they were so terrified and knew that they could have killed somebody. You, on the other hand, you're still relaxing, drinking alcohol. That's why I wanted to know what you do in your spare time. I understand people work construction. It's hot. You want to come home? Let me have a beer. But your problem is you want to come home, have a beer, more than one or whatever you're drinking, and then get out and drive and you can kill somebody. And you're lucky that you did not kill somebody. You understand? And if you don't get it into your mindset that you are one of those people who cannot drink and drive, you're going to end up picking up another DWI. You're going to end up killing somebody. And then you're going to come in here crying and still come before a judge and say, oh, I drank about 3 weeks ago. So you had better change yourself. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't understand why people, if you're going to drink, catch the via. You know what you'd have probably been charged with? Public intoxication. Maybe you would have got hit by a car. I don't know why it is here in San Antonio. San Antonio is the only place I know where people are walking on the freeway. I don't know if that has to do with drinking or what, but this is the only city I've seen that happen. Just as a side note, I'm driving on 410. I'm going the speed limit. And guess what? I'm slamming on my brakes. Everything in the back seat is flying forward. You know why? Because somebody has decided to walk on the freeway and crossing 5 lanes of traffic on the freeway.
You know, Judge, I've never thought about it. You have a point.
Yeah, okay. I'm just gonna, I could have killed somebody.
Yeah.
And I wasn't drinking. Now, if you would have been driving that, maybe you would have ended up killing them. But good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Baby, excuse your honor.
You may be excused. All right, we have the attorney generals here. Where is Luis Martinez? Mr. Howie, come on down.
I'm not very tall. You couldn't see behind the screen, Judge.
The screen. All right, so what is happening? The AG is on. What
No,
is
just so anyway, Mr. Martinez can give me a call so we can chat before.
Sure.
All right, can you call her? She wants to chat before
Sure,
we
I
have this. Do
I'll give you my, Norma has my cell, Miss
Let
Ferguson,
me
I'm
give you
sorry.
so, because that's not the procedure I spoke the last.
Okay, all right. So
Right,
you're
it's Miss,
they're
yeah.
gonna chat.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Martin,
Yes, sir.
you're asking for Eddie the Outlaw to be recalled for June 10th?
The following week, Your Honor.
All right. Okay, that's fine.
Thank you, Judge.
And if I can have the paperwork on Eddie Outlaw, give him back to me, please. Who's here on Freddie Ariano?
So the judge has Melissa's case.
Yes.
Both she and I will be out tomorrow through the week. And so I wanted to approach on Freddie Ariano, which is Melissa's. She said to mention that if we can reset it till next week, she thinks that'll be a plea.
Okay, just 1 second. Let me pull it up. State,
Yes, ma'am.
do you have this cause number? It's 2024. CR 010818. That's being recalled for disposition. And they're asking for next week, is that correct?
Yes, Judge.
What date?
Maybe Thursday.
All right, the 15th. All right. Ms. Ferguson, I'm gonna give this to you, and if you can put this on the 15th.
And Judge, one of your prosecutors just informed me that Ms. Christian has Rick Fernando Jimenez tomorrow. It's a third setting. If we can move, it's a prisoner case. We can move that to next Thursday also.
All right, if you'll have them, if you'll get
Bring
the
the
file
file.
back, yes.
Spring file. And then on my case, it's a little bit more complex. I have Marco Moreno Vasquez set for,
Just 1 second.
Okay.
I'm going in order.
no problem.
Just let me go in and change these.
All right. Thanks for doing this.
Have to put everything in Odyssey. And people are changing dates after I put it in. So. And my typing teacher would be upset with me. I haven't kept my hands on the home row keys, so it's not going in the way it should. I'm sorry, Miss Towner. She's looking down on me and she's like, Stephanie, I taught you better than that.
One of the best classes I ever took, like 7th or 8th grade.
Yeah.
It helped me so much in law school.
Oh, yes, I loved typing.
Well, you know, when you would think we'd be faster now, but we're not as fast as we were then.
That's true.
Mhm. Well, we started out with manual typewriters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then when we got the electric, we thought we were doing something,
Yeah.
but manual, my mom always says, your fingers are big because you've been popping your knuckles. I'm like, no, it was the manual typewriter. All right, who do you have?
so I have Manuel Moreno Vasquez. It's set for trial tomorrow, Judge. It's a murder case. It's old. I was,
Okay, are they pulling the file?
you should have it.
Oh, yes.
Okay. And so on that case, Judge, we were set for trial for tomorrow.
Mhm.
I spoke to the state. They informed me about a week and a half ago that they had some new evidence, which is pretty inculpatory, but it's also possibly exculpatory. And so it's CPS records. They've tendered what they have, and they were trying to get the videos, which I believe they've just now gotten.
Mhm.
But because of that, and because I'm gone this week, I spoke to them about a motion for continuance.
Mhm.
Angelini was visiting that week when I got the motion ready. So I wanted to wait until the next week, which I assumed you would be here, because you know, you're always here, Judge. And so I show up,
Butter him up.
and it's Fiesta week and you're out all week. So
Yeah.
just so that you understand the
And let me
thought
just tell you, so
process.
you'll always know. Fiesta week, I'm never here because I'm with my mom. It's her birthday, so you can count on my not being here.
So just so that I wouldn't be put in the position, because I work out of my office, which is my living room at this point,
Mhm.
with the large screen TV that has YouTube continuously playing. So one day,
Again, trying to butter me up. I'm like, why is YouTube continuously playing?
no, one day, a case popped up out of your court. And it was an attorney who either was set for trial, in the middle of trial, waiting for sentencing, and was gonna go on some cruise or something with his
So let
family.
me just clarify that. That attorney, well, let me just put it this way. I always tell attorneys, depending on the type of case is, if it's a drug case, a state jail felony, you know, I said it whenever because it's a state jail felony, it's a drug case. But when it's a jury trial case and it's 3rd degree, even 2nd degree, you know what I tell the attorneys? Go talk to Norma and pick your date. So they talked to Norma and the state and the defense then came back and said, this is the date we choose.
Right.
We chose. So anyway, anytime somebody is leaving on a cruise or going on vacation and they select their jury trial date for when they're going on a cruise and going on vacation, that's on them because I didn't pick that date, they did.
Right, and in this case, Judge, Norma told me what date that was. I apologize, Judge.
Okay, do you need to get up?
No,
Okay.
my sister, she'll call back 10 more
I have
times.
to call some sisters.
No, she'll, in my family, if you don't answer, they'll just keep calling. It's crazy.
I have
So-
one relative who does that and I'm like,
So when this date was picked, I let Norma know that I had to check with Melissa because she sets up all of the stuff. So we had this,
here's the thing, that I understand. But the other case that you're referring to, because my mind is a steel trap.
right,
They went off to the side, had already had previous resets that I had
Right.
given and continuances I had given, and they specifically asked for that date.
well,
So it wasn't just me, you not going on your vacation. That's the date you chose.
and the reason why I filed the motion and wanted to have it heard was so that I could stand in front of you and say, look, I didn't lay behind the log. I wanted to get this done. And then I informed both Norma and the state that I would still show up today.
Mhm.
So that, because Judge Robertson signed the continuance,
Mhm.
but I wanted to make sure that it was with your approval.
Oh, no, that's fine.
Okay. And so,
That I understand. You didn't set
right.
the vacation in motion.
And then regarding the CPS records, Judge, the state put together a motion so that I can get a copy, which I appreciate.
There's like six, today, Judge, and I did inform David, if he can, he said he would bring us a hard drive for it. It does have quite a bit of information.
All right, so let me just tell you what I know about CPS records from my time on the CPS side. And I think she will tell you as well, Joanne Eckel, if you get 1,000 pages of CPS records, probably about 50 of them are originals. Everything else is
Just a duplicate
a duplicate or
over and
repeat.
over.
But this is what I'm gonna do. When are you back on your vacation?
Next week, Monday.
Monday. So, and I'm sorry, when did you just set your other case to? Melissa's case? What date was that, Norman?
The 15th.
The 15th. So we can come back on this case if you're available on the 15th, just to see where you are in your discovery.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thanks, Judge.
You're welcome.
And I'll go get that other file that Melissa has set tomorrow.
All right. And when you come back on that date, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna send you all off to the side to talk to Norma to pick a trial date.
Thank you, Judge.
All righty. Yes, are you ready? All right, come let's. Sure. All right, Mr. Howie, you can come down. Hello, okay.
Okay, we're here on.
Here, Norma, if you can make sure that's reset.
You can signature bond. Well, I'm asking for bond. Just, you don't have a bond right now. Then we can talk about it. So. You don't have a bond right now, so we can't even do signature.
I have a $20,000 bond.
On the sign, not on the MTL. So that's what I'm asking for. And then your mom and I will discuss bond. There. That's the only issue. Okay, okay.
All right, so where are we on this case?
Judge, the only issue before the court today is the defendant's motion to set bond
And on which cause number? Is it the motion to revoke?
on the motion to revoke. He has bond on the ag assault.
All right. So, have you all come to an agreement on the bond?
No, Your Honor.
All right. All right. Court is calling 2018 CR 4056 State versus Kenneth Howie. If I can have parties announce for the record for the state
Yes, Your Honor, Aurora Pettis.
defense.
Louis Martinez on behalf of Mr. Howie.
And are you Mr. Howie?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Defense is requesting a bond, and I believe you filed a motion previously. Is that correct?
I did, Your Honor.
State, have you had a chance to review the bond request?
I have not, I don't believe I got the motion, Judge, but I mean, me and Mr. Martinez have talked, so I understood that he was going to be asking for a bond.
Are you ready to proceed on the motion for a bond request?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Judge, for the purposes of the record, that was filed well before the AG's office was appointed on this case as the pro tem. So it's been on file for a while. I did not, of course, have their information when I filed it, so they weren't served on it or noticed on it, but it's been on file for a while.
All right. And
And he
then,
has been reaching out to us, Judge, Mr.
All right.
Martinez.
and then, state, I'm assuming that you reviewed the, motion to revoke community supervision?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, defense, do you have any witnesses?
I do not, Judge.
Just argument?
Just argument.
All right, the court will hear your argument.
Judge, it's Mr. Howie's on deferred, so obviously he's entitled to a bond. We'd ask the court to set bond in an amount that's around the original bond amount, along with whatever conditions the court would feel necessary for the safety of the community and to ensure that Mr. Howie appears at any future hearings. But we've never had any problems getting them here. And so I ask the court to take notice of that.
All right, just one moment, off the record. Probation
Yes, Judge.
on Mr. Howie. He should be on deferred adjudication. And the last motion I have, if you could give that to probation, it says motion to revoke on it.
Okay.
From my understanding, he was adjudicated in October last year.
Okay,
I didn't handle that. I did previously,
oh, okay, all
I
right. good,
handled
thank-
it originally, so that may have been, that's my mistake.
All right, no problem.
Okay.
Because I saw that and I was,
Yeah.
all right, so he is not on deferred adjudication. He's on community supervision. So what amount of bond are you requesting?
I'd request a $25,000 bond, Judge, surety or cash, along with whatever conditions in the area of GPS tracking or curfews, those sort of things, that the court would see necessary to ensure the safety of the community.
All right, and state, what bond amount are you requesting?
Judge, we're requesting $200,000, and that's based on the nature of this crime, the fact that he's already given probation for an assaultive offense, and the concerns of the victim. We would also ask for a stay away from the victim and the neighborhood that the victim and the defendant reside in, or were residing in at the time of this crime.
All right, and is the complainant still in the state of Texas?
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay,
And Judge, the complainant lives in that neighborhood along with where Mr. Howie's parents live. Mr. Howie does not have another place to live. So he doesn't have any other options as to where he would live. So if the court wants to order that he stay within the confines of the home via GPS monitoring, obviously that would get us where we need to be. But I understand the concerns of the neighbor as well.
all right. And then what he's on probation for is retaliation.
Correct.
And was that someone different or the same complainant?
A different person, Judge.
And that wasn't an officer, that was
I
just,
believe that was an officer, Judge.
okay. Let me just review. All right, yes. And then he had a previous motion to revoke when he was on deferred adjudication, and that was an injury case.
Correct, Judge.
All right, is there anything else from either side? Any other evidence for the court to hear?
No, Judge.
Nothing from
And
the state, Your Honor.
I just reiterate that he lives with his elderly parents. He has a special needs brother there. And so obviously he doesn't have a whole lot of other options. If the court's gonna grant him bond, we'd ask that he be allowed to live at the home, but obviously a no contact order with the complainant in the new case. And either a curfew or GPS limitations to the home, I think would be appropriate in this case, Judge.
All right, so I have some concerns with him living in the home when you're saying that he has a brother who's disabled,
Yes,
because the previous motion to revoke was an injury to the child, elderly or disabled.
that was with his mother, Judge. That was resolved. He went and moved back in the home. We haven't had any issues since.
All right. This is what the court is going to do. I think the issue with him having contact with complainant will be resolved by full GPS. So I'm gonna order full GPS, waive the fees, and I'm gonna set the bond at $100,000.
Okay.
And do y'all already have court dates when to be back?
Judge, I need to clear that with Norma, but
All right,
Mhm.
so we can go off the record. All right, Norma, if you can speak with them by phone and see what's the good date to take care of the motion to revoke. All right, so Ms. Ferguson is going to talk to you all today by cell, so she'll be
Yes.
calling you right now so we can see what date would
Perfect.
be appropriate.
yes, ma'am. Thank
Great.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
you. We can do a super. We can monitor it.
And do you all have his motion? I know he's filed it for the bond, so I can write it on there.
Judge, may I approach?
Yes, hi.
Hello.
Hello, how's it going?
Oh, good, Judge. This is an off-docket matter.
Mhm.
Set tomorrow.
Yes.
Mr. Sean Pilkilton. And I did speak with his defense counsel this morning. They're aware that I'm speaking with the court.
Oh,
I was just going to ask, it's set tomorrow. I
Mhm.
have an appointment in the morning, and I was going to ask if we could just bring it on Wednesday,
Probably Thursday.
maybe Thursday.
Yes, if
Okay.
you'll have them pull the file and I'll take care of it.
Yes, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Sean Pilkilton. Tomorrow.
June 2nd. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Well, I'll switch away from this.
Well, I'll just put corpus on it.
Judge, will be June 2nd.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yes. I'll take care of it.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, have a good one.
Thursday?
Yes, Thursday. All right, who's here on Luis Rivera? Sorry, just give me one moment.
Of course, Judge.
Yes. Okay. Oh. All right, court is calling 2025 CR 0000689, State versus Luis Rivera. Can I have parties announced?
Renee Munoz on behalf of Mr. Rivera.
And are you Mr. Rivera?
Good, ma'am.
Are there any applications in this case?
No, Judge.
All right, and the court is also calling 2025 CR 00669. All right, And each cause number, counsel, have you received all discovery and did you review it with your client?
That is correct, Your Honor, yes.
And each cause number, the court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. And each cause number, Mr. Rivera, did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it? Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State in each cause number, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Judge, and the cause number ending in 0669, you would move to proceed on the lesser included offense of theft from person, the state jail felony.
No objection, Your Honor.
And the cause ending in 0689, we're proceeding as charged.
Right.
In each cause number, did you understand that this, well, in the cause number in 69, the state is proceeding on theft of a person. In cause number 89, and in an 89, you're charged with burglary of a building. Those are all state jail felonies. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand? If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent. Did you understand by entering these pleas, you were giving up those rights? And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in each of these cause numbers? Counsel, in each of the cause numbers, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
That is correct, Judge.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, that's to both questions, Judge.
Mr. Rivera, in each cause number, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the pleas?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
In each cause number, the court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. In each cause number, did you review the plea bargain agreement with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreements in each cause number, punishment is to be assessed at 2 years in the state jail facility. The cases will run concurrently. There's a $2,000 fine and the state will take in consideration 2024 CR 009868. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
The defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State.
It is, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Judge.
Then in cause number 2024 CR 000669, how do you plead?
Yes.
And in cause number 2025 CR 000689, how do you plead?
Yes.
State any evidence.
State offers states one in attachments in each cause.
No objection as to each cause.
Oh.
Stipulation.
And state you have the dismissal. Thank you. Sir, in each cause number, did you review the documents entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places? All right, state you may be excused. Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations in each cause number. The court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments in each cause number, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty in each cause number. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
We ask this honorable court to follow the negotiated plea agreement, Judge. My client is asking that we follow this agreement. The circumstances surrounding these offenses were stemmed in drug addiction. He's not proud of the fact that he's here. His addiction issues overtook and overcame his life, and he was having to take things that did not belong to him to feed that need for those drugs that he had become dependent on. He has been in custody some time now, which, he's has a blank slate. I informed him at the state jail, if this honorable court does accept the plea agreement, to immerse himself in any programs in terms of drug rehabilitation that are offered there. My estimation education is shown to reduce recidivism. So I just advised him to undergo any such vocational or educational programs, as well as advise him that if this honorable court does follow the agreement and he is subsequently, or when he is subsequently released, that even taking a stick of gum can result in another felony charge due to the convictions he now has with regard to the enhancements, Judge. So he's aware of all that and wants to turn it around.
All right. In each cause number, the court will follow your agreement. The court will sentence you to 2 years in the state jail facility. The case numbers were 1 concurrently. The court will take in consideration 2024 CR 009868. And the court will request the therapeutic community. Did you review the documents entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? All right, because these are plea bargain agreements, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because these are felony convictions, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you need to discuss that with an attorney. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. When you're released from custody, you need to get into treatment. Otherwise, you're going to be one of those people who end up back and forth in the prison or the jail, or either somebody's going to be identifying your bodies. That's the only 2 ways these can end, unless you maintain your sobriety. If you can't find a place that can help you maintain your sobriety, if I'm here, you come back here, I'll pick up the phone, call somewhere, one to get you in a program. You understand? All right, good luck to you, okay? Thank you. Oh, thank you. God bless you too. Let's see on Asmore. Didn't tell my witnesses. All right, so we're here for sentencing today?
Yes, Judge.
All right, the court is calling 2024 CR 008783, State versus Rakeem Asmore. Could I have parties announced?
Ashley Jones, State.
Joanne Akel for Mr. Asmore.
And are you Mr. Asmore?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you entered a plea of no contest to count 1 on March 4th. According to your plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 12 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine. Affirmative finding of deadly weapon, and the state opposes your application. There was a PSI and a TAP evaluation completed. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI and TAP evaluation?
Yes.
Yes, Judge.
Any objections?
Judge, I don't have an objection. I do have a correction.
Yes.
Okay, in the evaluation, it indicates that my client is unemployed. He is currently employed
Mhm.
by Burger King.
Okay.
So we would just request that change.
All right. Any witnesses, state?
Not from the state, Your Honor.
Defense, any witnesses?
Yes, I have 4 witnesses.
All right, call your first witness.
Okay, I think they're waiting outside.
All right. All right, could you raise your right hand for me, please, sir? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record.
Robert Daniel McDonald.
All right, defense, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. And how are you employed?
Police officer with the San Antonio Police Department,
And how long have you been so employed?
24 years.
I'm going to ask you to reflect back to April of 2022 and ask you if you were called out for service for a terroristic threat.
Yes.
Okay. I know that's been a long time. Would it help you if I hand you your police report so
Yes,
you can
please.
refresh your memory? Well, he's refreshing.
Oh, no, the executive.
Okay, can you tell me where you were called out to, Officer McDonald?
The address is 7313 San Pedro Avenue.
And was that at Jimmy John's?
Yes.
And when you were made this call, you were there to investigate a terroristic threat?
Yes.
Okay, what was the nature of the threat? Was a person threatening to shoot up the Jimmy John's?
Objection to hearsay, Your Honor.
All right, that'll be overruled.
You can answer that question.
Yes.
And were you, as part of your investigation, did you discover that Rakeem Asmore worked at the Jimmy John's?
Yes.
And the person that was making, as part of your investigation, the person making the threat, was that Ashley Williams?
Objection to hearsay, Your Honor.
Overruled.
Yes.
And did you also discover that Ashley Williams was in some sort of relationship with Rakeem Asmore?
Objection to hearsay, Your Honor.
All right, that'll be overruled. And let me just tell you, I understand where you're going with this. So this is what I need to know. So with regards to this report, that there was a terroristic threat, who is the person who was calling in this report that there was a terroristic threat?
Not the defendant.
So it wasn't the defendant who called it in.
His employer.
So his employer called it in. All right. So I understand, and I want everybody to know this. I understand the rules of evidence and what's going on, but I'm trying to make a clear decision on whether or not he should be going to prison or whether or not I should give him deferred adjudication. So it appears where this testimony is going is that there was a previous terroristic threat involving the complainant of this instant case. Am I correct?
Correct, Judge.
All right, you may continue.
And those are, I'll pass the witness.
Officer McDonald, you responded that day?
Yes.
So the store owner told you that the defendant told the store owner that the victim was making some threats, is that correct?
I believe so.
Okay. And to your knowledge, were there any actual charges filed with our office for that case?
I don't know. No idea.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay, isn't it correct, Officer McDonald, that the person that actually told you about the threats was the employer of Jimmy John's? The one?
Oh, okay, yes.
So Robert Thomas is the person that gave you the information, not Mr. Asmore.
Oh, yes. Yeah, he stated he got information from the other gentleman.
All right, pass witness.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, is there any objection to the court reading the police report?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, you object to that?
Just to understand all of this.
Okay. All right.
All right, thank you, Officer McDonald. May he be excused? Do you have any
Yes.
problem with that? Will you send in Officer Young?
Yes.
All right,
Thank
and
you,
the
Officer McDonald.
objection to hearsay will be sustained.
Okay.
I think it's relevant, but the objection to hearsay will be sustained.
I'm calling Officer Young next, Judge.
Okay. Officer Young?
He should be standing right up. I'll get him, Judge.
Okay. All right, if you can raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Officer Rodney Young,
All right, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. And how are you employed?
City of San Antonio.
And how long have you been so employed?
17 years.
And I'm gonna ask you to reflect back in September of 2022. Were you called out for a motor vehicle pedestrian collision? I'll hand you a report so you can refresh your memory concerning
you.
that issue.
Yes, I was.
And was this described as a major accident?
Originally came in as a major accident.
And where did you respond to?
We went for a Fulton area.
And when you came, when you responded to that call, did you come into contact with the Rakeem Asmore?
Yes,
And he was the victim in this case?
yes, he was.
And as part of your investigation, did you discover that he was hit by a motor vehicle?
Yes, I did.
And did you also discover the person driving the motor vehicle that hit him was Ashley Williams?
Advised me that it was his ex-girlfriend.
And her name was Ashley Williams?
Yes,
Okay, and did you subsequently, did Mr. Asmore receive any kind of treatment that you're aware of?
the EMS came out and checked him for his injuries he sustained from getting hit.
And did he, are you aware of whether or not he had to receive any kind of other medical treatment?
No, I wasn't.
And how did you end this response to this report? Did you?
Right.
Did you give Mr. Asmore a ride?
Yes, I
Oh.
gave him a courtesy ride near his house.
Pass the witness, Judge.
Right, officer. Can you tell me the date of this report?
September 22nd, 2022.
And the only people on scene was the defendant, Raheem Asmore?
And there was a witness.
Who was witness?
On here it says a Philip Marquez.
Philip Marquez, he was with the defendant, right?
He wasn't with him, but when I got to the scene, I believe he was.
They were together.
Yes.
And so Ashley Williams was not at the scene, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And so the only evidence that you have, or that you had, was the defendant telling you that it was his ex that hit him, is that correct?
Yes.
And the defendant also told you he didn't want custody charges, isn't that true?
Yes.
No further questions.
Isn't it true, Officer Young, that the witness actually observed this accident and observed the vehicle hitting Mr. Asmore? Abstained.
Yes.
So it wasn't Mr. Asmore reporting it, what happened, it was the witness that was reporting it, correct?
The witness did say yes, he saw the S1 get hit by it.
And as far as you are aware, Mr. Asmore and the witness were not together,
No,
that they didn't even know each other.
that's correct.
Okay, pass the witness.
And just to clarify, the witness told you that he saw a car hit the defendant, is that correct?
Said he was in the drive-through line and this location saw V1 get hit by S1, yes.
Okay, and the defendant is the one who told you who S1 was?
Yes.
Okay. Good, thank you.
Isn't it correct, Officer Young, that you ran a license plate that was provided to you and it came back to Ashley Williams? That's how you discovered her name?
Yeah, he managed to take a picture of the vehicle. And calling the police that, the vehicle that fled the location.
This is the witness telling you this?
Yes.
Okay, so he took a picture of the license plate and that's how it was determined that it was
Yes.
Ashley Williams. Okay, all right, pass the witness.
Further questions?
No
All right,
further
thank you.
questions. Of this. Thank you, Officer Young.
Yes.
Maybe excuse Judge?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'll call Deja Young.
Could you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Deja Young.
All right, you may proceed.
And Ms. Young, can you tell the judge what your relationship is with Rakeem Asmore?
I'm his fiance.
And you probably need to speak up so the board can hear you.
I'm his fiance.
And do you have any children?
Yes.
How many children do you have?
Well, 2 and 1.
Okay, and are those children, is Rakeem Asmore their father
Yes.
for both of the children?
My oldest, no, but he's raised her since she was 2 months.
And how old are your children?
19 months and 6, going on 7 this week.
And you're pregnant with your third child
Yes,
and also Rakeem's child.
yes.
Okay, and are you aware of the reasons why we're in court today?
Yes.
And how long, can you tell the court, how long have you known Rakeem Asmore?
It's 2017.
Can you give some idea of the kind of person you believe that you have known Rakeem Asmore to be?
My perfect guy. I don't know about anybody else, but he's since, I had a situation going on. He's been there for me, even when back in high school. We just kind of were not able to be together at that time because we were just kids, but honestly, I'd say he's a good man to me.
He's been a good man to you and to your
Yes.
children?
My children is definitely a great father.
have you ever known Rakeem to be a violent person?
No.
Okay. Do you know anything about Rakeem's relationship with Ashley Williams?
Just everything I've heard.
Okay, but you hadn't had any personal contact with her.
No, not me personally.
Right.
I don't even know what she looks like.
Okay. As part of this charge, did Rakeem spend any time in jail?
Yes.
How much time?
I want to say roughly 9 months.
All right, and do you feel like Rakeem is a person that do you believe that Rakeem understands now his actions were not appropriate in regard to this incident?
Yes, for sure. Every day I remind him that how bad it hurt everyone involved in the situation. He's hurt by it too, and I feel like he takes full accountability for it, and he's willing to do whatever it takes to make things right or do better, be a better man, be a better father, be a better person out here in the world.
Do you believe he's a person that can be rehabilitated?
For sure.
Okay, do you believe that Rakeem is a current danger to the community?
Mhm.
Okay, now you know this is an offense involving a gun. Okay. Do you believe that Rakeem has taken steps to rehabilitate himself?
For sure, as far as he's attending family violence classes, he's working, coming home, taking care of the kids. And they also reached out to him start his mental health treatment again.
Okay, so is Rakeem employed
Yes,
as a full-time employee?
yes, he's a manager for Burger King.
Okay, and is that the place that he was working previously?
Yes, for this incident, yes.
Okay.
He was a manager.
Are you aware of any threats that Ashley Williams has made to Rakeem or other members of his family?
Yes.
When was the last one?
Gotta be sustained.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell the judge about why you think it would be appropriate to put Rakeem on probation versus sending him to jail?
Honestly, I feel like he's learned from the situation and he understands that two wrongs don't make it right. And I know that he wants to be here for his children. He loves his children. He loves his family. And
Do you believe that
I
Rakeem,
feel like he can get it together. Like he's gonna get what he wants, for sure. He works hard for what he wants, what he needs. I'll say that.
do you believe that Rakeem would ever make a mistake like this again?
No. Not with me, no. Not under my watch, sure.
And would you be willing to help support if the judge put him on probation?
Sure.
Would
I
you?
support him to office.
Okay,
I'll continue to.
and you would,
I'm gonna tell you, I'm a strong believer in God. My faith is high. So no matter any decisions made here, it's not gonna, yes, it broke me. But I won't allow it to take my spirit, break my spirit. Be strong.
and you would, if the judge allowed Rakeem to be on probation, you would be willing to support him in his probation and getting into whatever classes the judge orders or complying with any other condition of probation?
Sure.
All right, I'll pass witness, Judge.
All right, thank you. All right, let's go off the record. Here's my question. Oh, and your client can come back here. Now, I like to make a decision because y'all are coming to me whether or not to send him to prison or whether or not to give him probation. This is what I need to know. And state, maybe you know that this answer. I don't know. Is there evidence out there that the complainant previously tried to run him over, previously committed terroristic threat? I can understand why it's not a self-defense issue that's going on here. But is that true? Does anybody know the answer to that?
2 years before this incident,
Mhm.
there were 2 reports, one a terroristic threat from Jimmy Johns as the court has heard, and the other a hit and run as the court has heard. The suspects in those cases were the complainant were the complainant in this case. However, no charges were ever brought from either of those police reports.
Okay. All righty. We're back on the record. Let's continue.
Thank you, Judge.
Sure.
I call Rakeem Asmore.
All right, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
You can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Rakeem Asmore.
All right, you may proceed.
Okay, Rakeem, are you working?
Yes, ma'am. I am a manager
Where do you work?
at Burger King.
And how long have you been working there?
Before I was incarcerated, I was there for 10 months, going on 10 months now.
All right, and how long were you incarcerated?
9 months.
And when were released?
I was released, February, I want to say 26.
Of this year?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and do you have any children?
Yes, ma'am.
How many?
I have one stepchild, a 19-month-old. I have a biological one, 6 months, and I have one on the way. So 2 children.
All right, are you currently involved in taking classes to help you with your rehabilitation?
Yes, ma'am. I am.
Okay, have you completed some of those classes?
I completed my anger management. I completed my gun safety. I completed my parenting. I'm currently enrolled in fifth family violence class, and I'm gonna start taking. Forgot the name of the other class I'm going to take.
Is it the moral recognition therapy?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, did you receive certificates for your anger management class, your gun safety class, and your parenting class?
Yes, ma'am. I have.
All right, and do you have those certificates with you today?
Yes, ma'am. I do.
All right. And Judge, we have these certificates for those classes if the court wants to look at them.
Here you are.
Thank you, Judge. Can you just tell the judge briefly what happened the day this incident occurred? What started this incident?
I was just getting off work, ma'am. I stopped by the store to get cigars. I ran into my ex-girlfriend. I ended up leaving. She rammed the back of my car. She had took off, and I had
Hold on, let
got,
me stop you there. She rammed the back of your car?
yes, ma'am, she smashed the back of my vehicle.
Okay. Were you afraid when this occurred?
Yes, ma'am, I was.
Okay, is that resulted in you chasing her?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do you understand now the mistake you made by chasing?
Oh, yes, ma'am, I understand.
And did you do this because of your past history
No.
with
ma'am.
her?
Yeah, technically, yes. I didn't know what she was gonna do after that. So I really acted out of fear.
And you were afraid of her?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you know that we're here today for the judge to make a decision as to whether or not to allow you to be on probation or for you to go to jail.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, is it fair to say, since you've been out of jail in February, you've completed all the classes that you told the judge about?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you currently involved in the batterers intervention and prevention program?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Did you register for that as soon as you were released from jail?
Of course, yes, ma'am, I did.
Did it take you a while to become registered?
No, ma'am, it took me a couple days, like 2 or 3 days.
But the class didn't start for about a month.
Right, right.
So how many classes have you attended?
I attended 3 classes.
And how long do the classes last?
They're 6 months long.
And when do you go?
I go every Thursdays, 5:30 to 7:30.
Okay, and are you planning to complete these classes?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay, you also said that you're also dealing with your mental health.
Correct,
Can
yes,
you,
ma'am.
can you tell the judge what you're doing about your mental health issue?
I'm seeking a counselor. I'm seeking. They're gonna start putting me back on medication, ma'am.
Okay, let me stop you there. Where are you seeking help?
At Palo Alto Clinic.
Is that the Center for Healthcare Services?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Okay, and you've already been there for an evaluation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you're supposed to, do you have another appointment coming up soon?
Yes, ma'am, on the 8th, no, on the 12th.
12th of May?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so and as far as you're aware, they're gonna make a decision as to the medication that if you need medication?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you willing to take this medication if it's prescribed?
Yes, ma'am, because I do have some issues going on.
Okay, do you think part of the treatment's gonna be counseling?
Oh, yes, counseling, therapy, all that.
And are you willing to participate in all of that?
Yes, ma'am, I am willing.
And you set all this up yourself?
Correct.
All right, have you ever been on probation before?
No, ma'am. Just juvenile.
Okay, what about adult probation for a theft?
No, ma'am.
Yes, you
Oh, yeah.
Your attorney says, yes, you have.
remember that? That was, I think it was in 2018, Matt. That's been a while. Let me see. Did you complete that probation?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you ever been on felony probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you feel like that you could comply with all the conditions of probation that the judge assesses?
Of course, yes, ma'am.
If the judge requires you to attend any kind of outpatient treatment for drugs, are you willing to do that?
Yes, ma'am, I am willing.
And I believe you were placed on probation for theft in September of 2018. And you did complete that?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Do you think you're a danger to the community, Raheem?
No, ma'am.
Will you ever engage in any kind of behavior like this again?
No, ma'am, I won't.
What have you learned from this incident, Raheem?
I learned that I don't need to react to every situation. I need to respond better. And I need to not react off my emotions. I need to learn how to call the authorities before taking matters in my own hand. And I need to learn how to walk away from the situation and be a grown man about it instead of acting like a child about it.
And as part of your history with Ashley Williams, has she made threats against you and your family previously?
Yes, ma'am, she has.
When was the last one?
Like around September 2022.
I thought there weren't any texted threats.
Objection to
That'll be sustained.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell the judge about why she should give you probation instead of sending you to the penitentiary?
Because 9 months I've been incarcerated. I really learned my lesson, ma'am. It opened my eye to be a better person, and two wrongs do not make a right. I have kids that I need to take care of, ma'am. I make an impact at my job. My GM is planning on making me assistant manager. So I really want to take that chance to run my own store one day. And I really just learned not to react in certain situations. I gotta come better as an adult. And just being around other inmates, seeing how their life is, that's not how I want my life to be. I feel like prison's not gonna make me no better or worse, or just.
You know, the judge is concerned about any kind of danger to the community. Do you feel like you would be a danger to the community in the future?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'll pass the witness, Judge.
State.
just, Mr. Asmore. Quick question, you said after your car was hit, you said you didn't know what she was going to do,
Right.
but you did see her drive away and into a parking lot, isn't that correct? Okay, and you said you were afraid, isn't that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
But your solution to that was to chase her?
I really just reacted the wrong way. I was just in shock. I was scared, you know what I'm saying? So I felt like I needed to take matters into my own hand, but now I realize I should have called the authorities. I should have made a police report. I should have waited on the crime scene.
And
So
I appreciate that, but my
Yes,
question
ma'am.
was, you thought you were afraid, so you chased her with the gun, isn't that correct?
yes, ma'am.
No further questions from me.
All right, any other questions?
Just briefly. And Mr. Asmore, Did Ashley Williams run over you with a car?
Yes, ma'am, she has.
And did she call your work and threaten to shoot up your workplace?
Yes,
Judge
ma'am.
Winters.
All right, that'll be.
That's a
over.
witness. I have no further questions, Judge.
I have some questions.
Okay.
All right. From reading the stipulations, she's saying you brake checked her.
No, ma'am, I didn't break check her.
All right, so walk me through this. You're at the Valero
Yes, ma'am.
and you see her.
Correct.
And where were you? When you say you're at the Valero, were you inside the convenience store part? Were you at the gas pumps? What was going on?
I had parked my vehicle. I was pumping gas. I went inside the store. She had followed me. She went inside the store as well. I hurried up and walked out. I bought cigars. I was pumping my gas. We didn't exchange no words. She was at a pump on side of me. Everything was cool. I got into my car. I was still in my work uniform. I pulled out. She pulled up behind me. Next thing I know, she smashed me. My car does a whole 360 in the middle of Calabria Road. She takes off. That's when I did what I did now. I got out of my vehicle
And shot at her.
yes, ma'am.
And where did this shooting actually occur? Was this in the parking lot of CVS Pharmacy or somewhere else?
No, ma'am, it was on the corner of Calabria and Ingram.
Now, here's my other question, and this is not as for a question for you, it's the question of the parties. So did anybody have any CV footage of the accident? Because if this is happening outside the Valero, the cameras outside the Valero, if it's on Calabria, there are different convenience stores all along Calabria that can see what's happening towards the street area. Did anybody collect that?
To my knowledge, Your Honor, I believe there were a couple of attempts to collect surveillance, but none was able to secure. The surveillance showed from CVS showed a male running across the parking lot.
All right, but nobody did any thought to grab any information that would show or any evidence that would show the accident as it occurred?
I do think
And I'm saying accident. I don't know if it's an intentional or not because I haven't seen a video of it.
Judge, there's not even a crash report that was ever filed.
Okay.
but to answer the court's question, I do think there was attempts to get surveillance. Like I said, from CVS, it was non-inclusive. However, there were several witnesses that the cops did speak to at the scene.
But about this car crash. All right, because what I recall from stipulations is people are saying they believe there was a car crash, but nobody saw a car crash. And I don't know where they came up with, the witnesses came up with, they believe there was a car crash.
There was a witness that said there was a car crash, Judge. I think it's in the stipulations. I believe. You want me to look for it, Judge?
I don't know, I'll look through, let me see.
What I have, Your Honor, it sounds like heard
Mhm.
a what sounded like a car crash.
Yes, but nobody saw it. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. Here's the thing, there are some missing pieces to this case. And let me tell you what the missing pieces are. The missing pieces are, one, were there previous terroristic threats made against you by the complainant, which, you know, you bring officers in here, people normally say they're supposed to believe the officer wrote the report. Then we have this witness testifying that outside of the terroristic threat to that his employer called in or whoever called in, he's testifying that there have been terroristic threats against his family members. Then we have this car crash. Do you all have the complainant?
No, Your Honor. And the state would just like the court to note that those reports that you have heard were 2 years before this incident.
All right, and I understand that, but if you think about it, we can go off the record. Let's for a moment assume that this is a female before me. And there's a male who 2 years before committed a terroristic threat, threatened the family, and then the female sees this male at Valero. Will we be making the same argument about it occurred 2 years ago? So I just look at people as people. So I'm going to give you a choice here because there are some missing pieces to this case. These are your two choices. These are the only two choices you have with regards to sentencing in this case. So don't ask for anything else. Two choices. One, the state is asking that your punishment be assessed at a cap of 12 years in the prison. I'll give you two. Or I'm going to give you a deferred adjudication, and it'll be deferred adjudication for 10 years. You can step back and discuss that with your attorney and discuss it with whomever you need to discuss with, but those are your only two options. So don't come to me with a third option. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. All right, thank you.
Approach judge on Fernando Jimenez.
Just
Perfect.
pulled it. All right, yes.
So this is Melissa's case set tomorrow. We can reset it for Thursday,
All right.
next Thursday. Sorry.
All right, I will put it down for next Thursday.
I appreciate it, Judge.
All right, thank you.
You have a great week.
All right, you too.
Okay.
Who is here? Matthew Gris. All right, if you'll come forward, please. Oh, I'm so sorry. Could you all just step back for one moment because they have the answer for me on this other case I was just hearing.
You asked a question that could be answered both ways. So I said, no,
No, yeah.
now if you're telling me to get my butt back.
All righty, y'all can come forward.
Judge.
All right, is there an answer to my question?
Yes, Judge, my client would like to defer.
Okay. Just let me put this in the system. Is your client currently on any type of GPS?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay. All right, we're back on the record in 2024 CR 008783. And you decided that you would prefer deferred adjudication, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court is going to sentence you to 10 years deferred adjudication. There's a $1,500 fine. That will be probated. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact with the complainant. If the complainant reaches out and contacts you, I suggest you call the police. Your attorney will tell you what you need to do, or either call your probation officer to let them know. There's going to be 200 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to order parenting classes, and I believe he already has done those, and probation, that will be acceptable. And there'll be 100 hours deducted for parenting classes. And the remaining 100 hours will be deducted for once he completes the BIP. I'm going to order the BIPP course. I know he's done an anger management course, but I want the BIP. There's going to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs, proof of employment within 30 days, no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Field visits 1 time per month for 8 months. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon Probation, is there anything else that's needed? Is there anything else that you need from the court in order to be successful in this probation?
No, madam.
Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. And defense, I'm sorry, state,
Yes,
with regards to the GPS, what are your requests?
for full house arrest GPS.
I mean, he's been working. Hasn't he been working?
He's been working, Judge.
Yes, sure, yes. Partial GPS.
All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start you off with partial GPS for employment. If you do well on that, you can come back and within 3 months, then I'll do it for curfew. And then if you do well after that for 3 more months, then you'll be off GPS.
Okay, and for the court's information, he has been on partial GPS since February, I guess he was released from jail.
I understand. But so come back in 3 months. Then if there are no violations on GPS, we will do just a curfew. And then 3 more months, if there are no violations, then you'll be off.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. So it'll be partial GPS for employment until further notice. And I'll just say until further notice, but you already have what the court's thoughts are on that, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Maybe
God
next
bless you,
year.
Justice.
All right, thank you. God bless you too. All righty, thank you. Oh, I'm doing okay. All right, court is calling 2025 CR 002675, State versus Matthew Gris. Can I have the parties announced for the record?
Andrew Harrison, State.
Mick Aguilar on behalf of the Honorable Matthew Gris.
And are you Mr. Gris?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Gris, did you review the application for community supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes.
Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, your client needs to sign. State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented? Any objection?
No, Your Honor, and I apologize for not signing this beforehand.
Mr. Gris, did you review the court admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it, signing in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
You're charged with escape, I guess, from an institution,
It's
from a car.
from the patrol car.
Oh, escaping from a patrol vehicle. That's a third-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent. Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, yes, Judge.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Gris, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea? Anyone promise you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
I am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, I am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it? According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed. Oh. I'm assuming you all are in agreement to community supervision?
Yes, Judge.
All right, punishment is to be assessed at 4 years in the prison, if you all can check that off. And the state is recommending community supervision. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Judge.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Waiver of appeal, Judge. If you give me a moment, I have it in front of me.
No, the waiver of appeal.
Oh, yes, Judge, I'm here. Yes.
Yes, did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 4 years. Did you understand that those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Judge, we put down no contest.
State any evidence?
Judge, for this purpose of the plea, we've had the opportunity to review those exhibits and have no objection this afternoon.
Did you review the waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am, I believe so.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state would be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same.
Judge, while you're reviewing that, may we? wait.
Yes. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. State, you may be excused. All right. Are you waiving PSI?
If you would consider waiving PSI, yes, Judge. He's been in custody for 5 months.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, I apologize. I'm at the court here a couple of weeks ago. Otherwise, we would have cut the same deal a couple of weeks ago, and it was my fault. He spent an extra 2 weeks
Okay.
in custody while I set up a family matter. Today, he's urged, he has asked me to ask you to follow the plea bargain. He does have family activities coming up in the near future. His son's birthday is tomorrow. So if you would consider granting his application today with understanding that he would have to do the TAP evaluation and then follow any recommendations from there. And he apologizes for being in front of you today.
All right. So what were you thinking? Because what are the chances? I don't even know if you realize. So you give the police a fake name that you think is clear of warrants. Then it turns out the person's name that you gave them actually has warrants. So they arrest you. And then you tell the officer, oh, let me give you my real name. I thought that name was a clean name. And then you yourself have warrants. And all of this began because he was riding on a bicycle on the sidewalk, which you're not allowed to do. And here's a little side note. When a sidewalk is provided and you are a pedestrian, you're supposed to walk on the sidewalk. Otherwise, you can get stopped for that too. But not only are you riding on your bicycle on the sidewalk, you're riding on your bicycle with an axe on your back, as though this is Game of Thrones or something.
It was a small hatchet and it was in my bag, actually.
Oh, no, he said it was sticking out readily available. He said he readily saw it. And then they place you in the vehicle handcuff. You know, it's like this guy keeps saying, and then, because you can't believe, and then when they place you in the patrol car and they're running you, then you reach out, put the handcuffs in front of you, reach out, unlock the door, and then you take off running, only get 30 yards, and then you throw yourself on the ground.
Because the whole purpose of that was to get the police closer to where.
He was trying to get to a female friend that was being followed by strangers. They had communicated, and he was truly trying to get to this friend.
Why didn't he just tell the police, hey?
He did.
3 times.
He did.
3 times. The chest cam should have it clearly.
So what's your drug of choice? What have you been using?
Marijuana,
And what else?
meth on occasion, but marijuana is.
All right, why do people always do the meth as the last thing? Everybody always starts with marijuana. And you know, when marijuana was real big, where people said that is definitely illegal, you know what people would say? I smoke cigarettes. And then the marijuana would be the side thing. So other than marijuana and meth, what else?
That's it.
All right.
You want to test him today, Judge? I'm pretty positive he's going to be clean.
We don't know that for sure.
Well, that's true, but.
Yeah, I will be.
Kind of positive, Judge.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, no, I'd definitely be clean.
All right, the court is going to find you guilty. How old are your children?
It'll be 10 tomorrow.
All right, you're going to miss the birthday because I've got to make sure that you have the tools you need to be successful. This is when's the last time you were employed?
I'm employed now,
Doing what?
landscaping and IHOP.
Okay. This is what the court is going to do. The court is going to find you guilty, sentence you to 4 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 4 years. There's going to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. We'll do a referral to felony drug court. Felony drug court will be able to see you this week. Out of custody, we'll do a TAP evaluation. Follow TAP recommendations. Referral to felony drug court will be in custody. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider with minors. 100 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to order parenting classes. Once that's completed, the community service hours will be deemed satisfied. Field visits 1 time per month for 6 months. And there's to be 80 sober meetings in 80 days. Probation, is there anything else? Is there anything else you need in order to be successful? All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question of what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. You have a 10-year-old. You say you want to get to their birthday and you want to be in their life as a upstanding citizen, right? You're going to have to start making, you're going to have to start making better choices. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. Remember, I don't know if you recall, pre-COVID, always had a trail of clients that are coming out positive.
Mhm.
I was hoping to have a negative here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I remember you say one day
one day live. Today I've had that one day, but I think I
Yeah.
might have repeated it today. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Abel Favala. And this is for restitution?
This is set for restitution today, Judge. The thing is that he's still in custody. He's in jail.
Mhm.
They're putting a GPS monitor on him because he's in the felony drug court program.
Okay,
That's why he was not brought, and that's why he's not in the gallery.
okay,
But I did receive updated medical records that were authenticated by the custodian of University Health System.
mhm.
So I am in receipt of that, Your Honor. And I was just looking for I spoke with the state and apprised them the fact that he's not currently here because he's being processed out, so he couldn't be brought. And they're agreeable as well if we can get this matter reset. That way I can go over those medical bills with them, show it to him and see if he still
All
wants
right,
to have
how
it
much time are you requesting?
here. Since he's in the felony drug court program, Your Honor, and he's being released from custody on that monitor, I want to see if we could do June 23rd.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, are we able to put this for June 23rd? Yes. All right, June 23rd.
Thank you, Your Honor. Maybe
You're
excuse-
welcome. Julian Gonzalez. And then I have Arturo Villanueva, Samuel Bach, and somebody from Motorola on the phone.
Bach is, his attorney's here, Jimmy Sommers, it's an off-office matter.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, all right, we'll take that up after this. All right, court is calling 2025 CR 003142 State versus Julian Gonzalez. Can I have parties announced?
Angela Blake, attorney for Mr. Gonzalez.
And are you Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, counsel, have you received all discovery?
Yes, Judge.
And did you review it with your client?
Yes, Judge.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Gonzalez, did you review the application for deferred adjudication with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the court admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're charged with theft of a firearm as a state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to $10,000 fine. If you have a plea bargain agreement, with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent. Did you understand by entering this agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Gonzalez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, there's a $2,000 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. They will take into consideration 2024 CC 735590. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense is at the plea.
Yes, Your Honor.
State is at the plea.
It is, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, are there being such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 3 years. There be a TAP evaluation, community service hours, no contact with Anthony Baker, John David Long, and Cash America Pond, the theft course and life skills course. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence.
State offers states one in attachment. No objection.
All right, state, you may be excused. Did you review the waiver and consent to stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, would ask the court to consider probating the fine. He did qualify for a court-appointed attorney. He also lives in Waco, which is McLennan County. We'd ask that a case be transferred to, for supervision purposes, to McLennan County. And I can spell it if the court needs.
Yes.
McLennan, McLennan County.
Okay. Anything you want to say?
No, Your Honor.
Why are you stealing? Why are you taking what doesn't belong to you?
I was drawn under the impression that, you know, the dude that I was looking for, he talked me into using my ID as a pawn shop.
No, it says that you all helped load up this truck.
Like I
So
said,
you were part of the moving and then you all, the person noticed that some of their items were missing. And then the owner of the truck had a GPS tracking and it tracked you all straight to the pawn shop. So again, why are you stealing?
wasn't thinking, honest mistake that I made.
No, it wasn't a mistake. You knew that those items didn't belong to you. A mistake is you don't know that item belongs to you. A mistake, here's a perfect example of mistake. It's raining outside. It was cloudy today. I felt like there was rain in the air, but I really couldn't smell rain in the air. But let's say I know it's going to rain. So I bring my umbrella with me, right? People come in wet. I'm like, hey, I'm glad I brought my umbrella. Now, let's say I don't know it's going to rain. Didn't bring my umbrella. My mom didn't call me and said, hey, Stephanie, it's going to rain today. And I come to court and I'm sitting next to somebody and they brought their umbrella. And I'm like, it's raining. I didn't bring an umbrella and I take it. That's a choice I made. I made to take it. I know that's not my umbrella. But by the same token, if I bring my umbrella, and let's say my umbrella is black, and I sit next to somebody else and they brought their umbrella because they knew it was going to rain and their umbrella is black. And I leave the courthouse, I'm so happy because I brought my umbrella. And when I open it up, I don't see my initials on the inside of my umbrella. And the reason why the initials are not there is because I took the wrong black umbrella. That's a mistake. So you made a choice. You knew those items didn't belong to you. You chose to take those items and you chose to go to the pawn shop and immediately pawn them when this person is hiring people to come into their house, which takes a lot for somebody to trust somebody in to pack up their items. Sometimes it will be nice if, as a part of sentencing, People just get to go to your house and take whatever they want to take, blindfold you, take whatever they want to take, and then you come in and your items are missing. You would lose your mind if somebody came in and took your items. And then to top it off, you paid them. You paid them to come and move your items. Not only did you pay them, then they steal from you. And now you're trying to find items that may have been heirlooms or has some attachment to you for memories. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any children?
Yes, sir. Well, not yet, but my wife is pregnant.
Mm-hmm. Have people bought you baby items? Do y'all have a baby bed yet?
But you're right.
All right, I'm sure somebody's gonna buy you a baby bed. They're gonna buy you Pampers. And let's say you find a better place to move and you all hire movers. And when you get to your new place, the baby bed is gone or some toys for your child and they've driven off to the pawn shop. Wouldn't be a good feeling, right?
Yes, sir.
So don't make excuses for doing wrong. Just admit that you did wrong and you're trying to be a better person.
Sorry, you're right.
Okay. All right. Court is going to sentence you to 3 years deferred adjudication, taking consideration 2024 CC 735590, $2,000 fine probated, transferred to Waco, Texas. They tell me it's McLennan County. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs, proof of employment within 30 days, no employment as a home healthcare provider or minors or as a mover. So moving any type of property, he's not allowed to do it. He's not allowed to work for those pod people either. There's to be no contact with Anthony Baker, John David Long, Hash America Pond, Sonia Sandoval, Gina Patlan, Patlan, 200 hours of community service. Once 100 hours of once parenting is completed, the court will deem 100 hours satisfied. I'm going to ask for the theft course. Once that's completed, the remaining 100 hours will be satisfied. And there's going to be the life skills course. And if they do field visits in Waco, field visits 1 time per month for 6 months. Probation, is there anything else? Is there a drug issue with you?
No, you're right.
All right. Is there anything else you need from the court?
No, you're right.
All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, sir.
Because this is plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck to you. Do better.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
All right, you're welcome.
Your Honor, is this for him or is this for you?
That's for you.
Okay.
And you may want to make sure that they give you the dismissal form.
I've got that already.
Okay.
I'm good down to 12 nights.
All right, thank you. Lorraine, who do you have? All right, if it's Phoenix Miller, they'll have to pull the file for me. Who's here on Daniel Berlanga? All right. On this one, you're asking to modify bond conditions?
Yes, Judge, we're asking for full house arrest and modified to partial.
All right, and state, are you opposed?
Your report, Your Honor.
All right, impartial for what?
The work, Judge. He's been out of jail almost a month and he'll be living in the streets any day now without any income.
All right, before we go on the record, so what's the issue with the partial?
Due to the nature of the charge and the alleged facts as presented in the report,
Okay.
safety concerns all around, Your Honor, are the reasons why we are objecting.
All right, so we'll go on the record. Court is calling 2025 CR 003-092 State versus Daniel Joseph Berlanga. Can I have parties announced?
Defender for the state of Texas.
Raymond Martinez from Mr. Banga.
All right, so first things first, where are we on discovery?
Not sure. Fairly new case, Judge. I've only been on it for a little over a month.
Okay,
I'm not aware of him missing anything. To my knowledge, everything that is in the case is uploaded. If there is an issue, we will get it corrected.
all right. So then the second thing is the defense is here on a motion to modify bond restrictions. The defendant is currently on full GPS. State, are you prepared to proceed on this motion? All right, defense, do you have any witnesses?
It's my client, Judge.
All right, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
That's right.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Daniel Joseph Berlanga.
All right, defense, you may proceed.
Mr. Berlanga, prior to you being arrested on this case, were you employed?
Yes,
What were you doing?
FedEx delivery job.
Okay. How long had you been in that job?
On and off for 2 years.
Okay. Was that your primary source of income?
Yes,
Okay. Who are you living with right now?
right now.
Okay.
Mother.
So I'm assuming based on your full house arrest, you have no income to contribute to the household.
No, sir, not at all.
Okay. And how long do you think your mother can continue to do that without your assistance?
I just reserve. Yeah, she can't do much longer. Not too much. I'm a little too expensive to have around.
Okay. During the time that you were incarcerated, did you have any contact with the complainant?
No, not to the best of my knowledge.
Okay. And since you've been out on bond, have you had any violations of your bond conditions?
No, sir, not at all.
Okay. What are the prospects for work for now? If you were able to go look for a job?
I believe that I might be able to get back into FedEx since I get to be.
They haven't fully released you?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a contact over there that you can?
I have several.
Okay. And were you living by yourself before you got out of jail?
No, sir, I was against single mother.
Okay, but at the time that you were working, were you contributing to the household financially?
Yeah, that was paying for this.
Okay. How long have you, since the time you've been released from jail until now has been how long?
Almost 15 years.
No, but you.
No, I'm sorry, 1 month.
1 month, okay. I'll pass it with this judge.
All right, state.
No questions, Your Honor, just have, unless defense objects as under the rules, I would like to enter in the police report as state exhibit 1 for Your Honor to consider in this bond motion.
Any objection?
Judge, I think for bond motions, the court's allowed to look at those kinds of things, so
Yes.
if the court's gonna use it for that purpose only, we are not objecting.
All right. Thank you. All right, any other witnesses?
There you are.
All right, the court will hear argument.
Judge, we understand it's a serious case. My client understands that's why he's under monitor. That's why we're not asking for it to be removed. But he has to be able to support himself. He has to be able to eat. He has to be able to pay utilities. He can't expect a family member who's not in as good a position to gain income as he is to support him
It defeats the purposes of our bond rights under the law and presumptions of innocence if you just go straight from the jail to your house and you're still for all practical purposes in jail. I know that we have many people charged with this offense all over the city, going to work, going to court, all that. He just wants to be one of those and not be confined to his home.
All right. State.
Other than the facts as alleged that you've already read, I'd just like to be honored to be aware of this defendant's criminal history. It's got charges ranging from juvenile offenses in 2000 or disruptive activities in public school, arson, resisting arrest, criminal mischief, misdemeanor assault family in 2006 that he was given a 90-day JSAP on. 2006 evading, it looks like it was concurrent for the 90-day JSAP. 2006 possession of marijuana. 30-day JSAP it looks like. 2007 possession of marijuana. 35-day JSAP. 2008 evading. Oh, I'm sorry, that was just 2010 assault second family. Defendant was sentenced to a term of 2 years in prison. And that is it.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court will deny the defense's motion, but the court will ask that the GPS fees are waived. And Ms. Ferguson, I need a 1-month reset for discovery. All right, we'll be back on, is June
Judge.
2nd good for you?
Yes, I'm available, but in light of his not being able to work, Judge, can we get expedited to a trial setting? We're ready tomorrow.
Well, I can't give you a trial tomorrow,
I know you
but
can, but
yeah.
to demonstrate my point is that I'm available as soon as the court is, and hopefully that's not several months from now.
Oh, no.
We don't
Let me,
need, we don't need a discovery or a plea deadline. We'll be ready to proceed
okay.
when you set us.
All right, just 1 second. All right, if you'll go with Ms. Ferguson and Norma, put them on the first available docket. That's with family violence. If you all go over to the side and discuss the date.
Okay, Judge. I'm assuming if we don't get up for trial that day, we can revisit his GPS.
Oh, you're gonna get your trial.
Okay, good.
All right, Phoenix Miller. This
That
is your,
should be May 13th.
all right, May 13th is your jury trial date. All right, where's Phoenix?
She's on Zoom, Your Honor.
Is she under Motorola?
Might be.
Okay, we're gonna find out.
Okay.
Could you unmute, please? And start your video. All right, counsel, do you want to call your client? Because
not logging on.
No, I mean, we have it here on the screen, but. All right, if you can get her to log in, I'll pick it up.
Okay.
Thank you. Who's here on Samuel Bach?
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Hopefully mine will be quick. And
Okay.
he is on Zoom.
I'm having him come in right now. Have you conferred with the state?
I have, and they're in agreement with tracking only. That's
All right, you're in agreement with tracking only?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And when is his?
it's not until August or late July.
August 5th, yes.
August 5th.
All right, thank you for dressing appropriately for court, Mr. Bach. You're excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Okay, then that is it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you mind? Can I get a
Oh,
copy?
sure. Just,
or-
I have to put it in the system first and then I will give it to you. She needs a copy of that. All right, I think your client is now here. Lorraine?
Yes. Okay, yes, yes.
All right. So, Miss Miller?
Yes.
Next time you're not allowed to wear that on Zoom. You understand?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I wasn't aware. I'm
Yeah,
not
I definitely caught her off guard.
No problem.
And this is on the docket Thursday for discovery compliance, but I have an appointment that I really did not want to miss.
Okay.
So,
sure.
I've conferred with the state. I'll sign the discovery acknowledgement today. And there's some things they are gonna look into.
All right, so when do you want this recalled for?
What do you think?
All right, could I have a 30-day reset, please?
June 2nd.
All right, so we'll be back on June 2nd, and if you want, your client can appear by Zoom.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so your court date of May 8th is being moved to June 2nd.
Wait, is that a Monday?
Yes.
I may be returning. Is there any way we could do the 4th?
Not,
Oh,
yeah,
or
it would have to be the 5th.
can we do the 5th?
All right, Norma, are you able to put it on the 5th?
Yes.
All right, so you'll be back on June 5th and you can Zoom in. It'll be the same link.
June 5th.
Yes, and that will be at 9.
And Phoenix, if something changes, I'll let you know.
Is that going to will my pre-trial know it's changed?
Yes.
Okay, June 5th.
Right.
Yes.
You do not need to appear on Thursday. Okay. Phoenix?
Okay.
You're making your appearance now.
Well, since my court date changed, will my drug test change? Because I'm pre-trial and then I was supposed to go to court and then pre-trial. So what do I do?
You'll need to call your pretrial officer, but your appointments with them will remain the same.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
You're
May we
welcome.
be excused?
Yes.
Thank you for allowing that.
No problem. All right, who's here on John Stephen Miller?
I can leave now.
Yes, you may leave. Thank you. Who's here on John Stephen Miller? Who is here on Camila Galvan? All righty. Who is here on Alexander Rangel? All right, so what's happening with this?
I believe defense counsel will just looking for a recess to Thursday, Judge.
Okay,
Your Honor, we're asking for, you would consider allowing him to terminate unsatisfactorily. There is an outstanding balance of $133.88. My client has, I mean, there have been some violations, but for the most part, he's been compliant. Last few settings we had, he applied for the veterans court, and he was accepted, but the probation expired about a year ago, so.
So it's sort of a unique situation because it's on probation and he expired over a year ago, so it can't be extended.
yeah. So what are you all requesting?
If you would consider allowing him to pay the balance, if that would make a difference to you.
It would,
Okay, all right.
and it'll make a difference to probation as well.
Well, he's represented to me that he thinks he can come up with the money by Thursday.
All right, we'll recall it on Thursday.
Yeah.
All right, you're welcome. Thank
And
you
we-
for dressing appropriately for court.
That would be excused, Judge?
Oh, once he signs the reset form.
Sorry, just excuse me, my last client.
Yeah,
You're on the-
no problem. If you have your client come up. All right, if anyone else in the crowd is ready, you need to make sure that your file has been pulled. If you're waiting on your attorney and your attorney's not here, you should step outside the courtroom and call them. Right. And this is for sentencing?
Yes.
And was this just a plea on one case or two cases? Okay.
So one is ending in 7884, the other one is ending in 7883.
Okay. All right. Court is calling 2023 CR 7883 and 2023 CR 7884 State versus Camila Galvan. Can I have parties announced?
Raymond Martinez for Mr. Galvan.
And are you Mr. Galvan?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you entered a plea of no contest in each of these cause numbers. On March 4th, 2025. According to your plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 6 years in the prison. The state opposes your applications and each cause number. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report?
I have, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections to the PSI report?
No, Your Honor.
Any witnesses?
Judge, I think I'd like to call Mr. Galvan's mother just to
Sure.
talk about something that came up with PSI.
All right, could you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
I'm Ruby Galvan.
All right, defense, you may proceed.
Ms. Galvan, first thing I want to start with is, have you ever had difficulty with Camila in terms of him violating the law, like what happened in this situation?
No, sir.
From the time he was a juvenile up until becoming an adult, has he given you trouble at home?
No, he has not.
Okay, so was this situation a surprise to you and the family when you found out that he'd gotten arrested?
Yes, it was a big surprise to me.
Okay. Since he's been on bond, has he followed all the rules of the court?
Yes, he has.
Okay. And how long has it been since we've been litigating this case?
This month will be 2 years now.
Okay. And has he complied with all the conditions of his probation? I mean, his pretrial,
Yes, he has,
including the monitor?
including the monitor.
Has he had the monitor the entire time that he's been out of custody?
No, sir.
So when did it go on? They put it on?
They put it on as soon as everything happened, so possibly he was on monitor for about 2 weeks, if I can recall.
Okay. So I'm talking about the ankle monitor that he has on his leg.
He does not have an ankle monitor. on
Okay.
his leg.
I was confused with that. Okay. How long did he spend in jail before he was released on bond?
From what I recall, it was about 5 or 6 months.
Was that done intentionally by you and his father so he would learn a lesson, or was there a reason why he stayed in jail that long?
So, I've never gotten in trouble with the law, so when I'm raising my boys, I told them, you know, your choices are your own, like, they're not mine, don't put, like, never put that on me. But, I did tell them that, I'm sorry, can you repeat?
Did y'all purposely leave him in jail for a while before you bonded him out?
Yes, so I told his father that he did need to learn his lesson because he didn't have a reason to run away from the police. He had a driver's license. He had just graduated, that's why he got a vehicle, we bought him a vehicle. And prior to that, somebody had took his license plate from the back and we had made a police report that he couldn't drive the car until we got a new license plate. And he didn't follow that. He didn't listen to me when he told him to not drive that vehicle.
So the only issue that was going on that day was that the car that he was driving didn't have the correct plates on it.
Yeah, it was missing a plate in the back.
And it wasn't because the car wasn't legal or registered, because somebody stole the plate.
Yeah, somebody stole the plate. It wasn't, none of that was the reason.
And you had asked him to not use the car until that got fixed.
Correct, because we made a police report about the license plate missing in the back.
Okay. Now, has there been an incident in the past where a family member of his or somebody close to him had some bad experiences with the police?
Well, we have a family history with my siblings and it's just my side of the family. They're always doing things that they're not supposed to be doing.
Okay. Well, there's a particular reason, if you know, why Camila might have been afraid to have an interaction with a police officer.
Yeah, so he always hears about, just on TV, I guess, what they watch on the social media that, you know, officers shooting individuals for no reason, sometimes just things like that.
Okay, but nothing of personal experience on his part, because he's never been in trouble with the law, is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, and to your knowledge, did you know that he was with his cousin that day?
No, I did not, I was at work.
Okay, so was his cousin supposed to be with him, or was his cousin supposed to be in school?
His cousin was supposed to be at school his cousin lived nearby, but his cousin was supposed to be at school testing, I believe.
Okay, and so that's another thing that maybe he didn't want to get discovered, that basically his cousin was playing hooky and he was helping him do that.
That's not what it was. My nephew had been back and forth for the past week. His parent had kicked him out and he was staying at cousin's house nearby. And I know that they had been seeing him during that week, just driving him back and forth to school.
So Camila was doing him a favor to get him to school?
Correct.
Okay. To your knowledge, had he been using any substances or drinking or anything like that when he was driving that day?
No.
Okay. And he's still in trauma time?
Correct.
Okay. Now, I've read in the PSI report that you might be undergoing some medical issues at this time, is that right?
That's correct.
Can you tell the judge about that?
Oh, yeah. In September, I got Bell's palsy, so the right side of my face went totally paralyzed all the way down to my neck. So I'm still going through therapy and all that for that reason.
Has Camila's been helping you with that?
Oh, yeah, he's been driving me to all my therapy appointments. I just went back to work in February. So with my little things here and there, he'll drive me to work and back. But I'm able to drive myself now. But when everything happened, I couldn't even speak. most of my vision was very blurry and always, running, like my eyes was tearing a lot, so he did a lot of driving for me.
If he's granted probation by this court, is he allowed to continue to live in your home?
Oh, yes, me and his father fully support him.
Are you confident that he will comply with any conditions imposed by the court?
Oh, yes, he will. He's been doing that for the past 2 years now.
Anything else about him that you would like the court to know before she makes her decision about what to do with his case?
Camila was 18 at the time, and I know that, you know, his thought process is still pretty young. He's still young. He's about to be 21 in July. He's done everything that he was supposed to do when he was in high school. He's graduated. He's actually, I'm really proud of him because coming from a family of 10, I was the first to graduate. I was, you know, the 10. I was child number 6, and I always wanted my son to kind of follow my footsteps. And he's my firstborn, so he graduated like he was supposed to. So he's never done anything bad. He's always helping the neighborhood, helping the neighbors. All the kids play basketball in front of our house because they're good role models. So that's how I raised them to be.
That's witness judge.
State.
Ms. Galvan, you stated the car that your son was driving on the date of the offense, that was the car that you and his father bought him?
That's correct. Yeah, I remember graduating.
Okay, and so there was an incident there, didn't have a license plate. Is that
correct? That was the week prior. We had a police report that it was missing.
Okay, and so if I'm understanding correctly, you had instructed him to not drive the motor vehicle until you were able to obtain the new plates, and he did not follow your instructions.
That's correct.
Okay. Now regarding his cousin Damian Borjas, are they related through you or through your husband?
They're related to my sister, my cousin.
Okay, so Damian is your blood nephew.
Correct.
Okay, and he was 16 years old at the time, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and so I guess he was kind of down and out at the time, right? Because he got kicked out, and have a place to stay, right?
Mm-hmm.
And have you heard that your son Camillus initially instructed Damian to lie and say that he was the one driving because he was a juvenile, and Camillus thought that the law would be easier on him for punishment? Were you aware of that?
At the time, I was not until everything happened, and then I was very sad to hear that my nephew was in juvenile, knowing the fact that his, you know, the situation was already in that week, getting kicked out. My sister hasn't been in his life since he's been, since his father got custody of him. So that made me really sad.
And I guess as a result of that, even though Damian wasn't driving, he had to stay in juvenile from May to August of 2023 until the authorities were able to further investigate and determine that Camillus was the driver of the vehicle. Were you aware of that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and at the time of the offense, was Camillus living with you?
That's correct.
Okay, and was he working?
Yes, he was working at Foot Locker.
Okay, and I guess, do you know why he was not at work that day, or what was he supposed to be doing instead of what was going on?
So he was supposed to be home. I don't think he was working on that day. Usually my sibling was the one picking up Damien back and forth that week.
Okay.
And I guess he knew that Damien needed to do STAR testing. I think so. I guess that's when he decided to go do it. It's close by, it was nearby. From what I.
And again, have you had an opportunity to review any of the evidence in this case?
We did. We saw a few of the videos.
Okay, and so are you aware of the injuries that the deputy sustained from the collision?
We did see some old video of him getting carried away. I think something on his knee.
Yeah, you had some last. Correct.
I'm not sure what that is.
Do you recall if he was bleeding from anywhere?
I think he's great.
So did you see the video where he was going to be hit and he was having issues breathing because he blacked out from the impact?
No, I did not.
I mean, do you think that's fair that he had to sustain that just because Camila didn't feel like stopping and obeying the authorities on that day?
No, I did not.
Ms. Galvan, eventually the police came back and they tried to sort out who was driving the vehicle, correct?
That's correct.
And at some point, Camila admitted that he was the one that was driving.
That's correct.
Is that right? So that his nephew wouldn't get stuck being prosecuted for something he didn't do.
That's correct.
And Camillus didn't do that because somebody forced him to. He volunteered to tell them, yes, it was me that was driving, it wasn't him.
Yes, that's correct. I always told him to speak the truth.
And in fact, when he did that, he probably didn't even have a lawyer at the time.
That is correct. He did not have a lawyer yet. We didn't have the funds to get a lawyer.
Do you remember what the circumstances were as to, did the police call him in for questioning? Did he go to their office? How did that happen?
I was at work again that day and the police came, so he was supposed to do, I guess, UA that day, and they called him in to question him.
Okay. So he went down to the pretrial to give a UA, and then the police decided to take advantage of that and question him about the case.
That's correct.
And it was in that setting, he didn't have a lawyer, correct?
That's correct.
And he voluntarily told them, hey, it was me driving, not my cousin.
That's correct.
And did Camillus relate that to you and his father after that happened?
Yes.
Okay. Does it surprise you that he did the right thing and admitted his responsibility in this case?
It didn't surprise me that he did the right thing. He knows that he needed to do the right thing.
Okay. And so you're perfectly fine with him doing that?
Well, not that they questioned him without a lawyer, you know, I wasn't okay with that.
Okay. But you believe that's within his character, and what the court could expect from him is that when he's presented with a decision, he's going to make the right one.
Yes, that's correct.
Despite his actions on that particular day.
That's correct.
Okay. That's all I have, Judge.
No further questions.
All right, thank you so much for coming in.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have any other witnesses?
Just Mr. Galvan, Judge.
Okay. Oh, Mr. Galvan?
Oh,
No problem. Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
it is Galvan.
All right, defense, you may proceed.
And Mr. Galvan, you've already told the pre-sentencing officer at the probation your version of what took place, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So,
But I want to ask you some more questions about that, okay? At the time you were driving, did you have a driver's license?
yes, sir.
Did the car have insurance?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What time of the day or night was it when the officers first attempted to pull you over?
So my cousin called me around like, I guess he woke up around like 10. So he had to take a STAR test. So like, I would say like around 11, that's when.
Okay. And what was your cousin asking you to do?
If I could take him to school, because he needed to take a STAR test.
Okay. And I'm sure the judge knows what that is, but for the record, what is a STAR test?
It's a test that you need to take so you could be able to pass the next grade.
And what were you doing when he called you?
I was getting prepared to get ready for work, but I go to work around 3. So around that time, I start my morning.
Okay. And so where did the two of you decide to go after you picked him up?
We decided to get some breakfast, and we never made it there.
Okay. And so what was the circumstances, if you know, as to why the officer was pulling you over? What happened?
I really don't know. So prior to that, my car, we had an issue where my belt broke, and like, honestly, I can't even be speeding. I wasn't doing nothing. So, like we said that my license plate was stolen. So me thinking I could move my front plate to my back, the back of my car to my back plate, and so I could be able to take my cousin to school.
So it wasn't so much that you didn't want to do what your parents asked, but you needed to take that test.
Yeah.
Okay. So where were you roughly when you first noticed that the officer wanted you to pull over?
I believe I was. I'm honestly, I really don't remember.
Okay, well, what general area of town are you at?
Southwest. I'm right there by, the, I'm not sure the street, but I know I coming from Walmart towards, it's- I'm not sure the street.
Okay. Well, let me help you a little bit. So the biggest portion of the time when the officers are chasing you are on Old Pearsall Road, is that right?
Oh, yes.
Okay, and that's 410 and Highway 90 roughly. Is that correct?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay. And so initially you see the lights come on and you decide not to stop. What's going through your mind at that point?
Honestly, I didn't know there was a officer behind me. My car's tinted, so I can't really see behind. Like, I didn't see no lights.
Okay. So when did you at any point did you notice that the officer was behind you?
No, I didn't notice. The only time I noticed was whenever my cousin told me.
Okay. So when your cousin tells you, are you still on Old Pearsall Road?
Yes, I'm trying to make it home.
And where's home?
Going down Old Pearsall by Traders Village.
Okay. And so why is it your decision to try to get home versus just to pull over and see what he wants?
Just scared.
Okay. Did you have any drugs or anything like that on you?
No.
Had you been drinking?
I don't do that. I don't.
Were you under the influence of any kind of drugs?
Oh, no, sir.
Did you have any warrants? Okay. Did you have anything in the car that was illegal? What about your cousin?
Nope. My car was brand new. Like, I didn't have nothing in the car other than my insurance, the papers towards the car, nothing else.
Okay. Did they find, once you and your cousin got found and you got arrested, did either one of you get found with any contraband on you?
No, Your Honor. I mean, no, sir.
Okay. So let's talk about after you do realize that the officer is behind you, at some point, as you told the judge, you just kept going to try to make it to your house.
Yes.
And how far were you from your house when this accident occurred?
I didn't make it towards my house. I went a little bit further down.
Okay. So describe where, so the officer eventually tries to deploy spikes to stop your car, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and can you tell us more or less where that is in relation to Old Pearsall Road in 410?
It's just further down by southwest, the high school. So it's like if you were gonna go straight down that way from Old Pearsall.
Okay. And when do you first notice that there might be something in the road that's going to disable your car?
As soon as I hit the bridge, like a little bit more further down.
Where's there a bridge?
It's about a mile from my house.
Okay. And so you come over the bridge. Do you see the officer stopped on the side of the road?
Yes.
Okay. At any point, did you notice that there was spikes in the road?
Yes.
Okay. And how close or far were you from that when you first noticed it?
I was probably like around 400 feet.
Okay. And how fast are you going?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Would you agree that you were probably going faster than the speed limit?
Yes.
Okay. What do you do when you realize that the spikes are across the road and it's going to blow out all your tires? What course of action do you take?
I hit the brakes and I lost control.
How did you lose control? Tell me about that.
My traction wasn't on, so when I hit the brakes and whatever speed I was going towards, I wasn't trying to hit the spike, so I tried braking, and when I broke, my wheel turned towards the grass area, and that's when I lost control.
Okay, so Old Pearsall Road at this point, is it a 2 or a 4 lane road?
It's a 2 lane.
Okay, one lane in each direction?
No. So it's a 4 lane.
Okay, so there's 2 lanes in each direction.
Yes, sir.
And as you're approaching the officer, is he to the right side of the road or the left side of the road?
So me going down, he's on my left side.
Okay.
So
is his car like in the street or in the grass?
both.
Okay, so he's right on the shoulder and partly in the grass.
Yes.
Okay, but you clearly see that there's spikes in the road.
Yes.
Okay, and where are the spikes in relation to where his car is?
I guess like towards the other lane.
Okay, so in other words, are the spikes close to his car?
Yes.
Okay, so did you actually hit the spikes?
No.
Okay, and why is that?
I lost control. and I went towards the grass.
And did you go towards the grass on the side where he's parked or on the opposite side?
Where he's parked, I was trying to avoid him because he was trying to throw the spikes.
Okay, so everything you were doing was to try to avoid the spikes and avoid him.
Yes,
And when you hit the brakes, what would you estimate your speed was at that point?
say like around 120.
Okay, so very fast.
Yes,
Okay. Did you try to intentionally hit the officer's car?
no,
Did you, in fact, at some point, when you lost control, went off the roadway into the grass, did you actually impact his car?
yes, once I lost control, my back of my car hit the front of the side of his front of like the grill towards his car.
So you didn't hit it head on.
No,
Matter of fact, didn't even hit it solidly.
no,
Is that
no,
fair to say?
it was more like a scrape.
Okay, so you brushed by it.
Yes,
Okay. Where was the officer when you were lost control of the car and you realized you're gonna go off the roadway? Could you see where he was?
I saw him running behind his cruiser.
So you could see him trying to get out of the way.
Yes,
From what you could see, did it appear that he could see you lost control of the car and that you were going off the roadway?
no,
Okay. He's just getting out of the way.
yes.
Okay. And did the impact of your car on his cause either one of you to get injured?
Honestly, I think we all got injured that day.
Did you see how, in fact, he got impacted? Once you glanced off of his car, what caused him to either fall or get hit or whatever happened to him?
I'm not sure. Once I got hit, we spun out, so I was just clueless to what happened until I got out the car.
And then you and your cousin got out and ran into the fields, is that right?
Not intentionally. When I got out the car, I tried to help the officer, and I didn't know like what the consequences were, so took off.
So what was his condition when you saw him?
Oh, he was on the ground.
Okay, did you talk to him?
Oh no.
Was he alert in terms of he was breathing, he was conscious? From what you could tell?
When I saw him, I just saw him like roll over. So like he was breathing. Like I said, I didn't know what was gonna happen. So my intention was to help him, but I don't know who was behind me or honestly, like you can never tell if someone's trying to harm an officer, but I wasn't trying to.
Okay. So at this point, you're really scared.
Yes.
And you have no idea what's gonna happen to you, what's happened to him, and you find yourself in a big mess.
Yes.
And this is essentially what you told the pre-sentence investigation officer, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, now, all this is on video, correct?
Yes.
And you've watched that video, right?
Yes.
You see where the cars are, where the officer is, all of that.
Mhm.
Yes,
Oh yes.
and you saw people come help the officer, and you know that he was conscious and walking and alert afterwards.
Yes, sir.
Although clearly he looked like he'd been injured.
Yes, he looked injured, but I did hear on the video call or the videos that he was on the phone with his wife or whatever, that he said he was okay.
So after you got put into custody, you could hear some of the radio transmissions.
Yes.
Okay, now, do you accept at this point, Camila said, obviously you should have pulled over when the officer wanted you to pull over.
Yes.
And though, even though you may not believe, you don't believe that you intended to hurt the officer, you understand your reckless driving had that consequence.
Yes.
And that's why you pled to this case.
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
And so, during the time that you've been on pretrial, what conditions has the court had in place for you?
Well, during the time when I got out, I had to be on house arrest. I was on house arrest for 2 weeks until they came to pick me up again and take me back to jail where I did 6 months. When I got out, they put me back on monitor. And I was on it for like at least a week, and until I got it taken out.
Okay. But did they make you report to pretrial?
Oh, yes, I report to pretrial every month.
Okay, and then do UAs?
Yes.
How many times have you been UA'd since you've been on pretrial? What do you think, roughly?
I would say at least 28 times.
Okay, any positives?
Oh, no, sir.
What about work? What have you been doing for work in this time?
I haven't been doing nothing.
Okay, and why haven't you been working?
Cause during that time I was helping my mom.
What were you doing for work before this all occurred?
I was working at Kids Foot Locker.
Okay. Salesperson?
Yes, sir.
And is that job available to you again, do you think?
No, no, sir.
What do you have planned for the future in terms of work or school?
I wanna probably be a mechanic or own my own little business. I know my uncle started their own little business. I wanna try to follow through that too.
Okay. Anything else you want to tell the judge about why she should give you deferred as opposed to making you serve a sentence?
During the time I was incarcerated, I don't want to be in jail. I've seen so much. I actually have uncles that were in prison. I had one that came out, and I never got to see him again. But I'm a good kid. I graduated. I don't partake in any drugs or alcohol. I just stay home. And on my free time, I like to restore shoes and clean them. So that's mainly what I do right now.
That's what it says.
All right. Let me just tell you something before the state starts. Whenever I would have people in my family who wanted to do something, you know what they would always start with? I don't do drugs, I don't belong in a gang, and I don't commit crimes. And you know what the adult would always say? Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. So I want you to know that I'm internalizing everything that you're saying, and I understand that this is probably the first traumatic incident that you've had. So I want you to know that I'm listening to you. All right. All right. You may proceed with your questions.
Mr. Galvan, so I'm a little confused and I'm just hoping that you clarify a couple of things. Okay. So you were with your cousin Damien on the date of the offense, correct?
Yes.
And he was 16 years old on that date, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And it's your testimony that he had to take the STAR test, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so back when I was in high school, STAR testing would start promptly at like 8:45 or 9 a.m. So why was you and your cousin out? This call started at 11:42 a.m.
Like I said, he woke up late at 10. He still had the chance to take the STAR test. So I wanted to be able to help him. So I was trying to take him to school.
Okay. How do you know that he still had the opportunity to take the test?
I believe they called him and they said that he was able to take the STAR test.
Okay, and so then he contacts you and you agree to give him a ride.
Initially, I don't know if I was the first contact, but I know I was the contact where I was the only ride he had.
Okay, and so even though he's already late to take the STAR test, you guys still were gonna stop for breakfast before you dropped him off at school?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. So then you said you're confused about why the officer was gonna pull you over, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and so you've reviewed the evidence in the case, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so if we have stipulated evidence that states that the officer observed you driving on the wrong side of the road and driving at excessive speeds, and that's when he decided to turn his lights on and pull you over, are you saying that he's lying in his report?
Honestly, yes.
Yes?
Mhm.
Okay, and so you said that you didn't see the red and blue lights because you have tent.
Mhm.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and do you have hearing problems?
No.
Okay, so if the officer says that he had the sirens on, you're just saying that you were unable to hear them?
We were listening to music at the time.
Okay, so I guess how loud was the music? Loud enough that you wouldn't hear the sirens?
Yes.
All right, okay, and so then the officer decides to deploy his emergency lights and sirens. And then you don't stop, that's correct, right? Okay, and so once the lights and sirens come on, that's also activates the dash cam that is connected to the officer's vehicle. Are you aware of that?
I'm not aware of it.
Okay, so have you seen the video from the officer that was trying to pull you over?
Yes.
Okay, and so you can see your car, driving at excessive speed, correct?
After the fact.
After the lights are already on.
Mhm.
Okay, and you're driving at excessive speed, correct? Okay, at one point you try to go get on 410 and then decide to turn around and drive the wrong way to get back on Old Highway or Old Pearsall Road, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and that's displayed in the video, right? Okay, and then when you're coming over the bridge on Old Pearsall Road, you said that you could see the deputy's patrol car, right? And the signs on the road.
Not until like I really got closer.
Okay.
Cause I was mainly like checking all my mirrors, like I wasn't trying to cause any accident.
Okay, and so that deputy's dash cam, he also had an in-car, so the car that, the in-car, the car that you collided with, that patrol vehicle, it had a dash cam as well. Are you aware of that?
Yes.
And so, I mean, have you seen that dash cam? That dash cam displays you driving on the wrong side of the road from when you're coming down off the bridge.
I don't recall.
You don't recall that?
No, I wasn't, like I said, as soon as I got on the wrong side of the road was whenever I avoided I was on the lane he was trying to spike. So I lost control, and that's whenever I got on the wrong side. I was always on the proper side when I was driving.
Okay. And so you collide with the patrol vehicle and you spin out. The patrol vehicle hits the deputy, sends him flying, is that correct?
Well, yes.
Yes, right? Okay, and so when you get off of your vehicle, you see him lying on the floor, correct?
Yes.
I'm gonna need you to say yes or no. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, and then later on, when you are interviewed by detectives, you said that part of the reason that you took off is because you didn't know if you were gonna be charged with murder, is that correct?
No, that's not what I said.
That's not what you said in your interview?
No, that's not what I said.
So if I have a police report, and the video is stipulated too, so the judge has it, that's just, you're saying it's inaccurate.
Yeah, I don't recall. I don't remember saying murder in my testimony.
Okay, well, nonetheless, you did not know whether that deputy was alive or not, correct?
No, I did know he was alive.
You
When
didn't
I
know
was
what-
when I was in the car, I could hear the radio saying that he's okay.
But that was 2 hours later.
That was not 2 hours later.
So when you're saying when you.
Oh
were in
wait,
your
actually,
car,
yes, it was 2 hours later,
It
but
was.
like, yeah.
Because after you crashed out and to the cornfield, correct?
Mhm.
You take off running with your cousin. And then y'all, helicopters deployed, search teams looking for y'all all over Highway 90 and Old Pearsall Road, and y'all weren't found for 2 hours later, correct?
I'm not sure it was 2 hours later, but I know during that run, I did tell my cousin we needed to surrender. I wasn't,
Okay, and you also told him at that time that y'all needed to switch clothes, correct?
yes,
Okay, and so you switched clothes because you didn't want them to know that you were the driver, right?
yes,
And you told your cousin that he needed to switch clothes with you because the criminal justice system would be easier on him because he was a juvenile, correct?
didn't see that. Yes,
Okay. Now, today it's your testimony that you tried to help the officer before you took off. Is that what you testified to?
that was always my testimony.
Okay, and so if there were witnesses on scene, well, are you gonna dispute the video evidence? Because there's no video of you ever going to check on the deputy. There were multiple cameras.
Well,
in the
there was,
area.
there was multiple, but all I heard was, I don't know, I heard some screaming. So when I heard screaming, I went back to my car and I took off.
Okay, and there's also a good Samaritan that stopped to help the officer. And he said that you immediately took off, so are you calling him a liar too?
So I got out of my car, I saw the officer, I was gonna go up to him, and then I heard that guy yelling at us. He was cussing at us and everything. So me and my cousin took off.
Now I want to talk to you about the interview that you gave to your PSI officer. So in the interview to the PSI officer, you're not really taking responsibility for your actions. To me, it seems like you're kind of blaming the officer because in your opinion, he didn't deploy the spikes correctly. Is that true?
I'm not blaming the officer, but in the video, it looked like he didn't know how to deploy the spikes.
Okay. Are you a law enforcement officer?
I'm not.
Have you ever gone through any law enforcement training?
No, I have not.
Okay, so you don't know what is the correct way to deploy spikes, correct?
I've seen videos when they deploy spikes.
Okay, well, are you aware that the Rivera County Sheriff's Office teaches their deputies that they're supposed to deploy the spikes and get behind the motor vehicle?
I did not know that.
So you wouldn't know that this deputy was actually in accordance with his training, correct? When you hit him.
Correct.
Okay, and so in your PSI, you said you think the officer could have laid the spikes properly. If he didn't run in the opposite direction, he would not have been injured. Is that correct?
No, that's not what I meant. I guess you didn't correctly write down my testimony, but like I said, in the video, it looked like he didn't properly throw the spikes down on time. So during that time, he ran towards the back of his car.
Okay, I mean, and you're aware that in watching the video, the reason that he started running behind is because he saw you coming at excess that he could run, correct?
No, I wasn't going towards him. If I was going towards him, it would have looked like I was trying to hit him. I wasn't trying to hit him. I didn't even make it past him or towards him.
Okay, we'll just agree to this. And in regards to your sentencing today, you said that you think that this is excessive. Is that true?
What is excessive?
It says, how do you feel about the plea agreement and your upcoming sentencing? I think it is excessive. I am not a bad kid.
Yes.
Okay.
I already did it sometime. During that time, I reflected on myself and my actions. And during that time, when I was in jail, I did write an apology letter to the office.
Okay. Well, do you think, if you look at the evidence, it's very telling. Okay, the officer goes flying into the air. He starts wheezing because he can't breathe because the impact was so tough on him. And while you're running in the cornfield, that's what he was sustaining. Do you think that that's fair?
I'm not saying it's fair, but he did not go as far as in the air.
He didn't go far up into the air.
No, he did not.
Okay.
As far as you're saying in the air, you need to find the air from it.
Well, I don't really think it matters how far he shouldn't have been hit at all.
I agree with that.
Okay, and so earlier you said that you didn't even see if he got hit or what happened to him, and now you're saying it wasn't high enough?
I've seen the video.
Okay. My question is, do you think it's fair that this deputy sustained injuries on account of you?
I don't think it's fair.
You have to witness.
No further questions, Judge.
All right, so what school were you taking your cousin to?
I'm not sure what school it was called, but it was down the street. Cause I went to Southwest Legacy, and his school is by I don't recall the street, but it's by Indian Creek. So it's not by Indian Creek, but it's like more on the opposite side. So Medina base. So going towards Medina base.
All right. So why were you traveling the incorrect way on the road?
I was always traveling the correct way. The only time I was on the opposite side was whenever I lost control.
Does anybody want to address that? Because maybe I'm reading the stipulations incorrectly. Why was the police officer pulling him over in the first place or attempting to pull him over? Wasn't it because he was driving on the wrong side of it?
In the wrong lane towards oncoming traffic. And the dash cam I believe was stipulated to, and it shows at multiple times, at least 3 times that I can recount off the top of my head, which is when the officer first lights him up. he's driving on the wrong side of the road. Then when he comes up to 410, he attempts to get on to 410 and then changes his mind and turns back around in the on-ramp. So again, going into oncoming traffic, then gets onto Old Pearsall Road. And then when he's coming off the bridge, again, is on the wrong side of the road.
So why were you traveling on the wrong side of the road?
I wasn't traveling on the wrong side of the road. Like I said, I didn't see the police officer. The only time I know, I've seen the videos and then it looked like he stopped me from a block away from my cousin's school. So I was traveling at the right amount of speed. I was doing everything correctly.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else?
Just arguing.
All right. Does anyone want to address? I'm assuming the officer was paid through workers' compensation or no?
I saw that, Judge. I also saw in the PSI that he suggested he was going to submit a victim impact as well as his out of pocket, and I don't know that that ever got accomplished.
To my knowledge, I was never submitted to the PSI officer, and I don't have that.
All right. Are you all going to be asking for restitution?
Not in what I'm asking.
And Judge, just to address that, your question more completely, we're more than happy to pay his out of pocket, whatever the insurance didn't cover, deductibles, anything else. If it would have been in the PSI, we would have gladly stipulated it to it. The workers' comp is a little bit of a different issue. That's not really money out of his
Yes.
pocket. But we are not going to contest restitution if it comes in later.
All right. So the court will hear argument. State you're asking your posted application.
If the court would look at the stipulated to evidence, including the video evidence, it is very telling as to the events that occurred on the day of the offense, which includes a very lengthy case. The Bear County Sheriff's Office trying to pull this defendant over. There were multiple units deployed to pull him over, and he just didn't stop. He was driving recklessly. There were multiple other cars on the road at the times that he was driving on the wrong side of the road, at the time that he was driving at excess speed, at the time that he tried to get onto 410 and then turned around in the on-ramp and was driving into oncoming traffic. And then ultimately, when he was on Old Pearsall Road, coming down off that bridge, multiple vehicles had to pull over to get out of his way until he crashed into that Bear County Sheriff's Office patrol vehicle, and then did send the officer flying. He had multiple lacerations. He's bleeding. His canine was in the unit that was hit. If you look at the officer's body worn camera, that should be stipulated to evidence. He was wheezing. He blacked out. A Good Samaritan had to pull over and stop the deputy that initially started the traffic stop on this defendant, and had to put his hands up and wave him down and get aid for the officer. And the defendant has no remorse in the PSI. He's criticizing the deputy's law enforcement tactics on how to deploy spikes. That is insulting, to say the least. And the officer was acting in his lawful duties, deploying the spikes, trying to pull this defendant over. And he, despite what he said, did not try to go check on the officer. He ran into the cornfield, evaded for at least 2 more hours. During the time where they're evading, he switches clothes with his 16-year-old cousin and says, "Hey, let's switch clothes." So when they pull us over, they'll think that you're the one that was driving because you're only a juvenile and the law will do it easier on you. That type of behavior should not be rewarded at all, Your Honor. And so we're asking that you sentence him to 6 years.
All right. Defense.
Judge, starting from the starting point of why they're pulling him over, somebody saying he's driving on the wrong side of the road versus maybe he's passing people or driving too fast, that's undisputed that his driving was not the way it should have been. We're not fighting. That's not the issue. It's undisputed that he didn't pull over like he was supposed to. He's admitted to that. That's never been the issue in this case. It's not why it took us so long to get here. The evading and the reasonable suspicion, it's all in the stipulated evidence. We're not going to contest that. The issue is whether or not he had no intention of hurting the officer. The reason we make an issue about the spikes, and maybe the way he articulates it doesn't sound good to the court or to the state, but You wouldn't normally deploy spikes and then stand right next to him when the car's gonna come over the spikes. Clearly, that's a dangerous situation. I think Camila's came over the hill. He was closer to him than the officer realized he was. It's obvious that he's trying to avoid him. He veers off the road, whether he loses controls or he veers off. He taps the patrol car. He doesn't run into it. He's trying to avoid it. He doesn't want to have an accident. It's his brand new car. Why would he want to do that? He doesn't want to blow out his tires. He doesn't have a brand new car. Doesn't want to damage it. But it just, circumstances were such, the speed that he's traveling, that's his fault. He's evading, and that's his fault. But he doesn't hit the officer. He hits the car that bumps, and then the officer's on the other side or somewhere near it. That's all he was trying to express, is that if he'd laid out the spikes and been further away from them, when the car gets there, there would have been no reason for the officer to be injured, right? So it was a series of events that started with his bad behavior, that he's taking responsibility for, that he's pleading to. He spent 5 months in jail over, and his parents left him there for 5 months. That got him here, and we are accepting of all of that. So the fact that he's quarreling with, hey, I didn't mean to injure the officer, that's the central theme of this litigation. The case was plea bargained down from aggravated assault against police officer to an assault against police officer for that reason. And it's all in the video. So unlike the case you had earlier today, yes, we can watch the video and see for ourselves what exactly happened. And I think he's been compliant with pretrial because he knows what he's facing. He's never been in trouble before, hasn't been in trouble since. He's a first-time offender. And while it's true you can sometimes have a serious enough offense your first time to go to prison, I don't think this case quite gets there, Judge, and we would respectfully request that you grant him deferred on both of these cases.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court is going to retain jurisdiction in each of the cause numbers. The court is going to find him guilty. Court will sentence him to a $2,000 fine, time and money to run concurrent. The cases will run concurrently, taking consideration 2023 CR 7882. There's to be restitution to Officer Molina. Credit for any time served, and the court will sentence you to 4 years in the prison. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes,
All right, because it's a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because these are felony convictions, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. So the state was asking for 6. I took in consideration your age, and I understand how sometimes things can get out of control for younger people, and you make one bad decision, and then the bad decisions from there just piled on one after the other. But the court will retain jurisdiction. Is there anything else?
Your Honor, may I speak, please?
Sure. Well, does your attorney want you to speak? I think you should talk to your attorney before you speak.
Let me ask you a question, Judge, just so I can be clear before I explain to him what all you just did. Is the time frame for the jurisdiction under that section that you're referring to begin from today? We're not gonna
Yes.
count, we're not gonna count as
Yes.
past credit. Okay.
So, all right, thank you. Who is here on, I have this thing from Stephanie Cleed. Yeah, I just got this placed up here. And then who else is waiting for someone? Yes, who are you all to? All right, what's your name? Tammy. All right. All right.
Come up.
Who is the attorney on this? Who is that? All right, Norma, can you see if Arturo can zoom in? All right, and then just have a seat 1 second. We're gonna see if the attorney, and then who are you? What's your name?
from Mr. Guyana, Judge, but he came in late, Judge, and you were notified that he was here. Mr. Guyana checked in.
Okay. What page is he on?
Six.
All right, thank you. Mr. Villarreal, come forward. All right, so in this court, starts at 9 a.m. You got to be here at 9. You understand? All right, so you're going to be back here tomorrow. You're going to be back here tomorrow exactly at 9 a.m. If you're not here at 9 a.m., a warrant's going to be issued. Do you understand?
Wow.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, if you can recall him for tomorrow.
Yes.
All right, she's going to give you a reset form.
And is that my court appointed too? That has to be here, right?
Well, here's the thing. He was here. You were not here.
I was here the whole morning, man.
No, you were not here at 9 a.m.
I've been here the whole time, man.
All
Since
right.
recess and everything.
Okay, so let me have you do this. Step outside. Do you have your attorney's phone number?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so call your attorney. And if your court appointed attorney is not here tomorrow at 9, we'll see about getting someone else to represent you, okay?
All right, that's fine.
All right, you're welcome. And you're correct. I do see that you were here at 9.
Yes, I remember when you called my name.
All right, thank you. You're correct. When I'm wrong, I will admit I'm wrong. But wait, she's going to give you a reset form, okay? Do we have any more files over there?
They're outside.
All right, Norma, can you check to see if is Isaiah's story on bond or not on bond?
He's on.
All right, could you make an announcement outside for Isaiah Nathaniel story? All right, thank you. All right, so do we have anyone else other than Ms. Franks? All right, and on this case, oh, no, who is it? Can you see if you can zoom in just real quick? If he can't, that's fine. All right, Ms. Franks, come forward. All right, Ms. Franks. A bond forfeiture was issued for you because you had a court date on April 23rd, and then there was a
so it makes understanding with my office.
Okay.
On the court date. Because when she calls in every Tuesday, but we gave her the wrong court date. That was the issue with my office. That's why I'm willing to get back on the bond, because it really wasn't her fault. That's why I stayed here all day with her, because it really wasn't her fault.
All right, so here's the thing. And I want to be clear with you, right? So you can call your bondsman and check in on what the date is or whatever. But when you have a date and the court gives you, that's your date. You can't fall back on the bondsman to give you your date. You understand? Okay. Ms. Ferguson. Oh, your attorney is zooming in right now. He's in the airport. Just 1 second. Alfonso? Hi, can you unmute for me?
Yes, Judge.
So your attorney, Ms. Frank, she was here on, well, she wasn't present on April 23rd, so a warrant was issued. The bondsman wants to be placed back on her bond. So when will you be back, or when do you want this case recalled?
We can recall it for next week, Judge. I'll be back tonight. My flight is delayed now, so I don't know anything about tomorrow, but
Well, I hope you're delayed in some place that's nice.
it's okay here, Judge.
Hey, as long as you're around family, it's always great. All right, so if
I'm
we,
having a fun day.
all right, so if we recall this back for May 15th, is that a good date for you?
That'll be good, Judge.
All right, thank you so much for zooming in.
May 15, 9 o'clock.
Yes,
Thank you, Judge. Maybe excuse.
yes, you may be excused. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, give her a reset form for May 15th. You need to be here at 9 a.m. They're gonna give you a reset form, so you don't need to call your bondsman for the reset date. Do you understand? No, they're asking to be placed back on the bond. And I'm recalling the warrant.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
She will give you your paper.
All right. Let me just tell. I tell you what.